Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. NSDC podcast. As always, here with my fellow co host, Elusive. You got Sergio over there. I don't know if Sergio's sitting down or moving around because you never know what's going on with Sergio. But, it's all good.
Yeah, if you hear random shots, that's not coming from our mics either. By the way,
Yeah.
if all of a sudden you hear some crazy stuff, it's just in a crazy neighborhood sometimes.
Yeah,
No.
it's Florida, so
Yeah.
Well, this is the real Wild Wild West.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we record. A couple weeks. Finally got to record today. Big episode today. We're gonna have our NSDC Awards. Our favorite things of the year in the hobby, outside the hobby. That's gonna be fun. But how's it been since we last talked, dog?
Man, end of the year, busy. This is like the big push, like towards the end of the year, the new year, which doesn't mean too much for me until at least like March. You know what I mean? April. So I think shit like slows down again. Holiday season, man. It's just what it is. Honestly, it's just been more like fucking chilling, getting some relaxation time, man.
Yeah. For me today, we did our annual tamales. You know what I mean? Tamales season, full effect.
Now let's not just jump over that. Let's break that down. What kind of type of tamales did you guys make?
We did. So it's funny. Last week I tried the first ever the veggie tamales, vegetales, with I guess some
Yeah.
cheese in there, which I didn't think I was gonna like, but it was really good. One of my mom's friends made some, and she had leftovers. Those are good. So we usually do the puerco with the red sauce and the traditional
Classic.
tamales. Yep. And we always like to sprinkle some with queso asadero and some rebanadas de chile. You know what I mean? So a
Of
little
course.
spice. And my sister loves the beans one, so we do some bean tamales too. But usually it's mostly just majority pork, and then we'll do like 10 or 20 of the other ones. And everybody gets down. The whole family's got to get to working. You know what I mean? Because you don't put in work, you don't get no
What
food.
what was your mission?
Yeah, what was it?
My position is the roller. I roll them up.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you don't smoke though, which is wild. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. But I feel like it's one of my hidden talents.
Okay.
I think
I
I would
mean,
excel at that. You know what I'm saying?
I think if I was watching you wrap tamales, it wouldn't be such a hidden talent.
No,
You
I
know?
mean
Why
saying
not?
I feel like I could in another life I was rolling tobacco. You know, feel me? Like I think I
Yeah.
have like yeah, I'm quick. I'm quick. My dad trying to help me to down. Like you know what? Just let me do it. You know what I mean, it's easier when I
Yeah.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Just
You said get out the way. That's crazy.
nah, I let him back out, but
That's because Doom's fucking stuffing those tamales. You know what I mean?
I am.
Oh yeah.
I do stuff
Yeah.
them, dog. Yeah, I don't
I knew it.
see.
I knew it.
Yeah, bro. See, that's
He's like, I
how I
don't fuck
do it.
with samples. He's like, I don't
No,
fuck with samples.
you can't have a lot of masa and not enough meat. No,
Yeah,
you need
the
a
wide ratios. You
It's
know what I
about the
yeah.
mean?
ratio. Yeah.
I don't like a tamal with too much masa. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I like it more like either 60-40 around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
yeah, yeah.
want that on the protein side. You know?
Yeah, 60, 40, 70, 30. You know what I mean? That's how we
Yeah.
do it.
If you want to be generous, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And we do a batch, obviously, because we're working. So I think we started, and the masa takes a while to do.
Mm.
But I think from 9 to like maybe 3 o'clock in the
Yeah. Did
afternoon.
you pull up that video of
The
Don Chori?
chicharrones. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that
Shout out
was
Don
when
Chori.
was it?
You know.
Yeah, shout out on Shorty. The That was the day before when I hit you up, right? Because I was trying to
Yeah.
find it. With that, in order to prepare for tamales, my mom got some. She made the chicharrones just to
Nice.
get the what do you call it? The oil, the
Oof.
puerco.
Manteca?
Oof.
Yeah, la manteca. And
Ah,
yeah,
I could
bro, they
taste
were
it.
good. They were good. But I showed my parents because I hadn't shown them before. I'm like, yo, I remember this one, and yeah, my dad wants to try it out, so I think we're gonna do some
Yeah.
chicharrones.
You gotta pull out the GoPro for that. You know what I mean? Pull out the
Bro,
GoPro so I can get it from
Oh
there.
man,
I
bro, it's
highly
gonna be good.
recommend you guys try tamales with camarones al diablo, a la diabla.
Mm.
Oh,
So it's like
camarones. I
shrimp
never
with
heard of it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's
Sounds
like
good.
shrimp, and
Mm.
it's like with chipotle, and you throw that in the tamal with some cheese and let that shit
Oof.
you melt.
I
Oof.
can't try it, but they would love it because I'm allergic to shrimp, unfortunately.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, you need to go for
Shellfish,
a swim.
yeah, and it sucks because when I was a kid, I loved shrimp, but then all of a sudden, like when I was like 10, I was just
Mm.
allergic to it one day. Boom. Broke out in hives. It was bad. It was scary.
Yeah. If anyone ever told me like, yo, you're allergic to like scallops, I'd fucking die because it's like my favorite. It's like seafood. You know?
Scallops, they
Yeah.
look nice when people cook them too. I always wonder. I never tried them right, but
Oh
now
man.
like I
See,
can't because
this is why we got to get together for a carne asada. You know what I mean? Put the asado out. You know, on
yeah,
live coals.
that would have been good. That
Listen,
would
we
have.
do that shit. We do that shit pretty much like at least once every once or 2 weeks. You know, out here at home. Gotta
Nice.
light up the grill. You know,
Hell
put
yeah.
some carne asada down,
Carne asada for
and
sure.
yeah, it brings people together. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, the cookout is, you know, it's always fun.
The other
But
day, my landlord wanted to, you know, he comes by with his dog, you know, and he's a nice guy, you know, but like, you
yeah,
know, this is you know, we ain't sharing this waggy over here, my brother. Like, you know, like
he's like,
I
"What
like
you
it,
got over there?"
yeah, I like it and everything, but we ain't sharing the waggy, you know. And he comes up, he's like, yo, you know, I got this chicken in the thing over there, and I look at him and I'm like, yeah, we're going inside, bro. You know what I mean? Love you, friend. Like, we love you. Had to walk away, you know, because like, you know, he wanted to
yeah, while you're there, just heat this up for you.
get the
He
fuck
said,
out of
he
here.
said, I think I heard my phone ringing. Hold on, I'll be back.
Like, yeah, listen, you better fucking light some cozy. Listen, you could borrow the grill, you know what I mean, if you want, but I'm going inside. You know?
yeah, no, nah, it's always fun. But
Yeah,
yeah, you got to hang around with the whole fam and talk shit. We get,
there you go.
roast each other. The holidays, it's always interesting. People are always talking about different things. You know what I noticed, and we were just talking before we recorded, and I told you two, like, damn, I don't even know what y'all talking about because I'm just in another space. But what I noticed, and I don't know if you guys notice it with other people, not, like from your family, not in the hobby. Everybody talking from stuff from TikTok, and I just don't ever use it. I've tried it once, and I
No,
didn't get it. But
yeah,
everyone's referencing videos from TikTok, and it's like the new Twitter. Like I'm sure
mm,
it's been like that for a while, but like, bro, I don't even know that what y'all talking about. Like, it's wild to
yeah.
me.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I can't speak on the TikTok. I don't have
I don't use it.
a TikTok for.
yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
But I think partly it's also because we're getting older. So
yeah.
it's probably kids talking about
No, bro,
TikTok.
they're older than me, and they use it.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
that's an issue. That's a red flag, sir.
Yeah, I'm like, I told him, like, what are y'all gonna do when aren't they like eliminating the app again or threatening to again?
Well, you know, there's a couple weird things going on with the TikTok and the ownership of, you know.
Yeah,
But
apparently that's the
yeah.
thing, right? I'm like, so what y'all gonna do, y'all? I live on IG. That's all I use.
Listen, they'll figure it out. They'll come up with another, you know,
Oh
some
yeah, I'm
kind of
sure. Yeah,
application where everyone
yeah,
hop on that and do like the next thing.
yeah,
Instagram is pretty like OG, you know, but you know, I like it. I just hope that it like oh, I wish that it would have like a deeper outlook on like algorithm, right? Because like I'm pretty sure that there's other people that collect, but we just don't know who they are. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Or
the algorithms are all skewed for
just
different
like weird
things.
shit, like stupid
Yeah,
shit. You know, it's
yeah,
like census like information, like stupid videos.
yeah,
Yeah, you know, but it is what we have like in the moment. You know, either that or we're gonna have to like go on Reddit or something. You know, we have to figure it out.
yeah. I'm
But
good on Reddit, dog.
We had a couple subjects for today. Which one do you guys want to get into? Do you guys want to? One thing I was talking to Doom about yesterday um, that I thought was interesting, and you missed a little bit of this, Sergio, was like anime versus Marvel. Do you guys want to talk about that? Do want me to get
Yep.
into that?
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
That what? That what?
Like, no, because we're talking about the difference, like what we're into now, and I was explaining that, like, Marvel's dope, and the artwork is dope from both sides, both from anime and Marvel. I think the edge that anime has is the storytelling. Like the character development of each character is probably a little bit deeper than a lot of like the Marvel stuff, and also like they're more creative with like the powers that they give the characters. Like I was telling Doom, like think about what Wolverine could do or any of the X-Men. It's not as fucking dope as like someone from like anime, whether it's Dragon Ball Z, whether it's Naruto, whether it's like Jutsu Kaisen. Like look at the different powers they have. They got instant transmission. They got the genjutsu, which is like fucking some type of mind control.
Yeah.
Like none of the. I mean, I was telling Doom maybe something like a Doctor Strange or a Scarlet Witch, and what was the other one I was thinking about? Professor X. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
those are like the most interesting ones, but for the most part, everything else is pretty basic powers, is what I'm saying.
Listen, I think that the Japanese are just a lot more open to stuff, and some of those OG animators were the creators of what we got going on over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that inspired them.
And now, I mean, now it's going in reverse because now the Americans are catching inspiration from the anime and making like
And then,
anime manga
yeah,
style
yeah,
animes, like modern animes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Naruto with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
yep,
Um, you have like people. I mean, the endless references of like the Akira bike scene and like pop
yeah,
culture. It's like secretly there. Certain things were like big had bigger impact than others. But I think it's dope that they're taking inspiration from what's going on the other side of the pond because it is dope. And like some
yeah,
people, listen, for some people they're not gonna get into it. I do feel like you may not be like a person that loves like every single like anime out there, but I do think that there's an anime out there for everyone. You know what I mean?
yeah,
well,
Like
that's the thing. There's
yeah,
so much like variation in topics, and
yeah,
it's tough. You compare it to Marvel, but like, what are we comparing to the Marvel like animated series? Because there's very few
yeah.
of
No.
them. Very few of them to begin with.
And even then, if I mean, not to bash on any artists or work that people have done, but if like a manga style like Marvel thing came on, like and it looked like the Marvel anime, I mean, I would want a different design. I want
Mm,
it to like look a little different. Like it would need to match like the show, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I feel
Like
like X Men '97 was a way different type of animated series, and it borrowed a lot from manga or anime. Even with like some of the sequences, right? Like, and a lot of references to some of the other anime out there. So yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I think when you talk about like deeper level of power abilities and the way a Japanese interpretation to you is more like what would you say? There's a higher level of depth to
yeah,
characters and abilities. I feel like you can probably find that somewhere in Marvel, and probably, but it's in the comics, right? Like that's the bread and butter.
yeah,
That's where the history, that's where the lore is. I don't know enough about either one to really. I'm sure it has to exist, right?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure too. It's just more niche on our side if you find it, and like
Yeah,
I think also we were talking about this, like the messages that their shows have are more motivational, uplifting,
mm.
positive, right? Like you can name, especially the '80s and '90s animes, like versus the stuff we were watching, right? Like not that our stuff
and
wasn't dope or
and
nostalgic
and
to us, but
and the animes from
mhm,
the '80s were like super gritty. Like gory.
yeah,
Like it was a little bit more raw. I mean, it's kind of the same now. So, some like not Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
no, I haven't seen that one.
Okay,
I've heard about it, but no, I've
well,
never watched it.
I think you guys should. I don't know. Again, I'm a firm believer in. I think that there's an anime for like everyone. You may not like Naruto, but like, and that's fine. But like Initial D, if you're a car guy, that's easy money. Like, you should enjoy that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because it is like pretty solid. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot out there. Like I like some of the older stuff too, like the older, like the Gogo 13. I told you guys like, hey, it's some like kind of spy situation, but it's it's too much to explain like for an episode. You know what I mean? But it,
Yeah.
it's it is dope to watch, like the artwork, like the craftsmanship, like what went behind it, and you actually think about it, like dude, the way Akira was painted, like it's just like crazy. That
Yeah.
it was like hand painted. They make
Handmade.
colors for it and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's just like, dude. I mean,
Handmade.
that specific anime is crazy, and there's really no going back past that. Like now you have to like either keep up or like do better.
And speaking of that, like transitioning to that, like that's another thing that we touched on. Is like whether you're an artist in anime, animation, uh, graphic design, or if you're an artist in music, like you get to be like whatever level you reach. It's definitely based on the fact that there was people that reached certain levels before you got to that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like whether it was inspiration wise or whether it was techniques that you learned from people as you were coming up.
Yeah.
Because Kendrick had a great year.
yeah.
Just massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Um,
want to touch on that, dude. Like, what do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, looking the year 2024, obviously hip hop listeners like we are, like that was a big event, right? You finally have the fight everybody wanted to see, the battle everybody wanted to see.
Yeah, you finally got Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
Finally, I mean, you had J. Cole in there, but like, I was finally. I always thought Kendrick was better than J. Cole, and I apologize to all the J. Cole listeners out there, but he took himself out the competition this year. And it was all good. We still love J. Cole. But
That
yeah,
didn't sound like love. I'm just
nah, I still like his music. It's just I always
it's,
thought Kendrick was better. I thought he was always had better albums, and
yeah.
he proved this year that he's a better battle rapper than him and Drake. So it was huge. It was a huge moment in pop culture, just general, and it was almost I don't know, what would you compare it to? David and Goliath? Probably not, because Kendrick was celebrated.
Man, you're saying that because he's short, or
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was very similar to like the Nas and Jay Z because Jay Z was selling a lot more than Nas was. Very similar to Drake outselling Kendrick.
I feel like, but Drake has like breaking Beatles records and getting to Michael Jackson records, surpassing those. So I just felt like it was the most popular versus probably the most gifted. That's what I would put it at. And
Mhm.
Yeah,
and they
and
had a
it's
long over 10 year history of just kind of jabbing each other, and everyone kind of knew it was there, and no one thought it would happen 10 years later, and it
you
did.
know one thing you said even right now, right, like the most popular versus the most gifted. Why do you think that? To me, it would be the norm that the most gifted should be the most popular,
Mhm.
but not in only in this genre, in any genre. But why is it that the most gifted are usually not the ones that are most mainstream?
I mean, if you're talking about just Kendrick music, there is a level of complexity and depth that the average listener doesn't catch or doesn't care to catch, right? People want just music to put in the background of a whatever gathering. They're not approaching music the way people who love Kendrick is. It's almost like a work of art. It's a book. There's hidden meanings, there's layers and layers that average people just don't have time for. And I think
Hmm.
maybe that's what it is. And we never got to this topic, and maybe we should touch on it a little bit. Shout out to who's it, Jugs? Who always wanted us to talk about the masterpieces,
Oh yeah,
right? And we had the new masterpieces announcement with Nahuel Grego, Argentinian, I believe is Argentinian painter, 2024. They're gonna release. And we had Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum, which is a whole different mashup of stuff, but they always do get the most I guess credit in the hobby, right? Credibility in the hobby, the most prestigious sets. And his question was like, I feel like, why do we put that prestige on those sets and not in other sets that maybe have more appealing artwork or better artwork in other people's points of view? And I don't know. I guess from my point of view, Marvel Masterpiece is just a brand, right? And it's one artist taking on a whole set, so people really celebrate that because it's not an easy thing to do, and very few artists have the task of doing it, and maybe that's why it's so prestigious. But I agree with him. Like, there's other sets where I love the artwork much more than the masterpiece set because it's all based on one type of style, and if you like it, you'll love it. But if you don't, you won't care for it.
Well, I'll start with this. Like, me, I go to pricing. Like, if you want to talk about prestigious, I don't even think some of the masterpiece stuff got as expensive as in the peak, whether it was the PMGs and the retro sets,
Mhm.
but not even modern now. I don't even think anybody was paying Marvel Platinum, and Marvel Topps Chrome money for any masterpieces. It
Yeah,
was maybe on very select cards,
select
but
cards for sure.
they weren't moving the market like these new sets are.
No, I think other sets like Platinum and Chrome probably have a uh higher number of higher sales, right?
Yeah,
Than a masterpieces set, which is interesting because masterpieces is always priced the highest.
which lets you know what the market wants versus what we think as collectors should be
Yeah,
worth something.
yeah, and maybe there's just a shift in ideology where people are like, yeah, we get it as Marvel masterpieces, but we're into the chromium cards. We're into the shiny cards. We're into something a little bit more different. Whereas in the 90s, where, just go introduce Marvel Masterpieces, it was something new. It was something that's never been done before. It was almost like high end art of Marvel comic,
And that's another thing too, man. I think that's not for everybody. I think some people like more comic art, more cartoonish,
traditional. Yeah.
right? And then you get a little bit more too artsy for some people. So I
Yeah.
think that plays a major role for
And it's
sure.
tough. It's a tough sell. It's one vision that the artist has, and you can't expect everyone to love it, right? Because it's, same people who love Bianchi probably don't love Palumbo. People who love Palumbo probably don't love Dan's work. People who love
And
Dan's work maybe don't like Jusco. And
you pointing that out is another reason again that why a lot of people fuck with 95, because on that one you had four artists.
four artists, but
Huh?
I mean, do a lot of people fuck with 95? I don't know.
I think so. Like the consensus, at least the circles I hang around with or to speak to, like everybody holds it in high
Yeah,
regard.
I think circles you hang around with because you guys are similar and what you like.
Maybe
But
this isn't like the 95 club, you know?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people love 94 because of
Yeah,
the Hildebrand brothers, right? I
for
think
sure.
it's tough. Like, I don't know how you
But
gauge it anymore. Like,
well,
this
again,
year I learned you can't really gauge things. Like,
it's tough.
people
Again,
love
it's
what they
only
love.
it goes back to when we're talking about the market. Yeah, you can't gauge it, but I mean,
No.
the only thing I would say is look at the MM95 box prices versus 94 MM.
Right. But
Well,
was the
but could
production around
people,
the same? Was it more produced of
but
94?
could
I
people
don't
say
know.
the same thing about masterpiece box prices or like the new stuff? Like it's not the same, no?
It's probably less produced now than there was in the 90s, no?
Yeah, like Joe Jusko, 350,000 plus 35,000
150,000.
tins.
The reason 96 masterpieces was always regarded as one of the biggest ones because there was a low print run,
And that
which,
has continued. That's maintained. Like, look at those prices; they're still
but if
really
you
high.
compare it to the print run of like 2016 masterpieces, I don't know what those, again, we don't know because numbers aren't disclosed, but
Yeah,
I'm sure some people do the math there. I'm not one of those guys. Let's just keep it 90s, and 96 masterpieces is less printed, more prestigious, has a higher sales price. It's not for me. I prefer
correct.
Hildebrands. I prefer 94. I'll give me 95.
Yep.
instead of 96, right? It's all about preference. Like,
It is preference, but the way I look at it is going, tying in with music a little bit. I
mhm.
see it as back when I was younger, man. I wasn't gonna buy a CD if I only like one hit.
Yeah, the
If I'm gonna
body
buy
of
an
work.
album, the body of
Yeah,
work. Like if
body of work.
I wanna make sure I have like at least 4 or 5 songs that I enjoy. Same thing with the set. From '95, or excuse me, from '96, I
Hmm.
do like love one card. Everybody knows the Double Impact Surfer. I've always enjoyed that card. But
Hmm.
that's about it from that set. Like there's other dope cards, but they're not at that code S level for me.
But
And
that, I think that has to do with the way we approach things, or the way we're wired. Is that
yeah,
we're looking for a body of work, and that's one type of person. There's people, again, we go back to the Drake and Kendrick. They just want the bigger hit. So
yeah,
they knew, like,
yeah,
Drake had way more songs out there, a longer discography, bigger hits, bigger number ones. So yeah. Let's get into our awards. This is the first year we do them. Hopefully it becomes a yearly thing, and
yeah.
it's kind of just like going back and reassessing the year in the hobby, the year in pop culture, and it's, our favorite things that we saw. And we have a bunch of categories, something we kind of did last minute. So if anyone wants to play along, if you want to leave a comment on what you think your picks would be, we're gonna
Yeah, that'd
choose.
be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna choose up to three picks, some honorable mentions if we have some, and if we don't have anything, well, not all of us will answer the same categories, but yeah, let's
Yeah,
get
like I'm not
into
gonna
it.
answer any Sailor Moon stuff, for example. But let's go ahead.
Really?
No, there's no Sailor Moon category, but
Ah,
we can
I'm
make
joking.
one on the fly. Don't even worry
No,
about it, Di. You know what
I'd
I'm
rather you didn't.
saying? What you can say, sir? You can say something?
No,
Or-
I was nah. You know
He
what?
got
Let's
excited. He
keep it
woke
going
up
because
when I said
he
Sailor
talk
Moon.
about no, because if you remember the other day, he thought about he considered. He thought about, he looked
oh
at.
yeah,
He
baby
researched.
steps.
It's a
Yeah,
baby
bro.
step. That's a
Next year,
You guys
we'll
are
see
good.
some. We'll see some for sure. All right, bro. Well, let's start. This is the best of 2024. Obviously, like I said, these are our favorite picks. We're gonna choose up to three. If we have more, we'll add some honorable mentions. The first one category I want to start with is the collectibles. I think it's the biggest category we have. And then we'll go into artists, and then we'll go into collectors and content. But number one, let's start with the favorite hobby trend that we saw this year. Uh, and I'll start it off, right? If you
Okay.
guys want to think of your answers, or if you have any, then you have some time. Um, but for me, I'm mostly focused through the lens of what I collect, right? Non-sports cards and Pokemon, so some TCG. But my favorite thing that I saw was the increase in Discord spaces for non-sports hobby.
Yeah.
When we got in, what, 3 4 years ago, it was only Facebook, and like we're trying to do something on IG, right? People would hit each other up on IG, but I feel like I tried Discord out last year, and now like there's the Discord for DC cards, there's a Discord for Marvel cards, there's multiple. There's Discord for character collectors. There's Discord for Pokemon, like all kinds of Discords for that. So, um, it's probably my favorite space outside of IG is the Discord spaces. So, I love that trend. I love that there's more places where more information is shared, and more places where you can go and find other people who are in the very niche things that you're into.
all right. So I think my hobby trend, and I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, I think this year more than the past, maybe like previous years.
Hmm.
And I guess if there was like some type of like conversation going on, I wasn't in tune with that. But comic cuts this year, I feel like everyone loves the comic cuts.
Yeah.
Um, and it's dope to see, but it's just crazy because like you go back a couple years and like like big comic cuts have always been big, right? That's a different story.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was a lot of spotlight on the comic cuts, and I think that's cool. Some people wanted to cut up foreigns and like get all crazy, and it's like no, let's not do that. Let's keep it, you know, let's keep English copies for the comic cuts. We ain't doing the foreign comic cuts.
Yeah,
Please and thank you. Let's leave those alone. You know what
I
I mean?
mean, for sure, because man, it used to be my favorite insert. Used to pick them up around what $20, maybe 25 for some good ones, and then
Yeah.
those shot up to hundreds. So definitely got a lot popular this year.
Melissa, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple trends, but one I'll mention since we're mentioning one is the OA trend. I
Hmm.
think that was probably one of the
Yeah,
bigger trends this year. Like
big
everybody
one.
was talking about OA. A lot of people. I think that's, if I had to guess, that's probably a major contributing factor to like how many people started downsizing their collections because
Hmm.
there's not a lot of people that myself included that could just afford $10,000 OA. Uh,
Yeah,
unless you move some stuff to get there. So
for
I
sure.
think that's what caused people to start moving some of their favorite cards or ones they didn't see themselves keeping long term and moving into either that, whether it was OA or whether it was sketch cards. I also think it was a year of commissioned sketch cards.
Hmm.
Yeah, just the emphasis on just I guess art, right? Original
Yeah,
art. And I wonder what the negative effects of that are, if there's any. I feel like even me, right? I participate in some of that, although not like card art, original art. Like I have some sketches or some turtles pages that I picked up this year, but I feel like a lot of that really put an emphasis away from the actual cards and more on the card art, which is on one hand positive because there's a higher education on the artist and the people who make our favorite collectibles and appreciation for it. But at the same time, it kind of, in some cases, it can make the cards seem worthless or like not really even. It just it can have a negative impact on card collecting because it almost makes it seem
I think what it is, I think it's because here's the difference because that same thing we're talking about does not happen in Pokemon. People don't stop buying the newest
right.
stuff or the old stuff just because there's people that own the OA. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of it has to do with it does definitely have a bigger collector field, but also because there's playability in their game versus
yeah.
the cards that we're collecting. There's no game involved. We're not
No,
collecting
it's
unless
just
just
art.
TCG. It's just
Yeah,
art.
it's just art.
So that's why it probably takes a slightly bigger
But
hit than those things do.
yeah, it personally for me, I would love for the emphasis to still be on the card. I don't think you have to talk down cards in order to talk up OA, and I think it does damage to the actual hobby because we all got here because we like to collect the size format, the
Yes,
2.5, 3.5, or some people love their 5x7s, but that's not me. Uh, that type of format of trading cards, and it makes it something even communal, right? Like we could all own a version of that card. We can't all own the original art, so it,
correct.
I rather I do think at times it has a negative impact, whether that's planned or unplanned. Even me, like at the end of the year, it's been having more fun with the original reason why I got into the hobby. Anyways, I just love some of these base cards. You know what I mean? Some of these '90s cards, like they don't have much value, but that doesn't make them meaningless. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another hobby trend that I like this year: blaster boxes from Upper Deck. Just having more product out there at cheaper prices. Obviously, Marvel Platinum blaster boxes were a big thing. You could hit one at once and number cards from. So I just think having more, non-sports cards, specifically Upper Deck, who started, making blaster boxes for retail, Targets, Walmart. And now, heading into the new year where Fanatics, Tops is running Marvel. You're gonna see some of that stuff in store chains, and the only other place would probably be breakers. So
I think a hobby trend I noticed this year was people more people started matching like cards and comics or like imagery with
yeah,
cards,
for
which is
sure.
good. You know what I mean? Like it means that people are buying books, and I'm all about that. I support that.
Yeah,
And
big hit for that, for real.
you know, yeah, I
People are
think that
discovering comics through the cards. I saw a lot of that this year for sure.
that was a fun one to see. You know what I mean?
I think the hobby loosened up a little bit more this year as far as like how many memes and jokes were going around about Upper Deck milking all the collectors with all of
Yeah,
the newest releases. I think it was people were open to joking more this year. I feel they
People
were
being
not
more
as
honest
yeah.
with
I think so
how
too.
they felt. Yeah. People expressing themselves. I think that's a good thing.
And then you got
absolutely.
to see the people that really enjoyed it and how many people were just in it. Mainly for just to come up on a flip. Which nothing wrong with that, but it kind of got exposed. Shout out Charles. Uh, he was,
Wow.
he was super happy that stuff that he was selling him stuff. He lets you know, oh, good thing I got rid of all mine. And obviously he's joking. I'm sure he kept his very valuable She-Hulk collection.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Sean.
watch your mouth. This is PC.
Uh, that's another trend I just thought about. I guess for me is gonna be the character collection Instagram pages, right? A lot of people making their own character collection
Yeah.
pages
I like
strictly
it.
for what they're collecting. And yeah, I saw a lot more of that. So that's interesting. You get to see it. There's a lot more Marvel cards on IG, which I think
Yeah.
overall is a positive thing. There's a lot more. Well, depending on the algorithms, you're gonna see them or not, but they're out there if you find them.
Yeah. I think more people too putting music on their post.
Yeah,
More just being in
that
the area.
higher quality presentations.
Yeah.
Everyone stepped up their game this year, and I like that. I like that people were taking the time to really display their collections, and that always makes me intrigued to find something new. So, all right, now let's go to our next subtopic: our favorite hobby news, events or collabs of the year. My number one is the Kith PSA. Was it San Diego Comic Con? The
Yeah.
comic book collab, which also is the PSA comic book grading um, reveal. And we talked about it early in the year with Manu. Shout out to Manu. I'm just I can't I love that PSA is getting into grading comics. I think it's gonna open up a new audience to comic books and magazines and all kinds of dope printed shit. So I love that.
Well, mine. We talked about it. You guys told me it was technically last year the Kith Wolverine drop or the
Yeah,
Kith X-Men, but technically I didn't pick up my card till this year. My Wolverine.
there you go. New to you.
So it's
Yeah.
new to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I think that was the biggest drop. I still think that I was more excited about that than even the comic PSA thing. And then
Yeah.
also the other one recently where he killed it again. Not as good as he killed it with the Wolverine stuff. I'm gonna be honest, because he literally just used trailer as the cards for
Hmm.
the Batman drop that he just did.
Yeah. Batman
Yeah,
85th anniversary. Kith collab. Yeah.
yeah. And again, we're just judging the collectible side of it, not so much like the shirts and
The
the
events
apparel.
themselves. Yeah. Like it looked like if you were in New York and you can go. I believe they're showing different Batman movies different days, and yeah.
And they did some great stuff. Like I was telling you guys, I like the little ticket stubs they gave away.
Yeah.
Those were dope. It reminded me.
Sure.
Shout out to people that were, from Southern California and were raised on the those lunch tickets to get like either reduced lunch or free lunch. Shout out to y'all.
There you go.
the poker set that they did is super dope. It's definitely pricey. Like that would be a collector's piece. It's probably not something you want to play with.
Yeah,
And then the coin. I know you fucked with
Two
that
Face
face
coin.
coin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Two Face coin. Which I'm mad I missed the drop because they're expensive now. But yeah, overall, I think the the Kith Batman, Kith PSA. They also did what the cards, right? Graded through PSA. Although
yeah,
for the Batman movies, I know '89 Batman, Batman Returns, and a couple other movies. But yeah, Kith doing stuff with Marvel and DC, always dope. PSA getting involved in those collabs, always
yeah,
dope.
yeah. And I'm sure they're gonna keep killing it, man.
Yeah,
You know, I hope they're getting the sales and revenue that they need in order for them to do the next
keep
project.
it going.
Yeah,
I do think it helps increase the awareness of the non-sports
yeah.
section that we love the most.
And I hope that it also inspires other brands to want to collab with Marvel and Batman.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
it's cool. Kid is doing, but I wish there was more, bigger brands doing it. Can we get we had the Stussy Marvel stuff from what 2011? Can we get a Nike Marvel, Nike DC collab with
Yeah,
cards, comics?
yeah. Here's another thing, man. I wanted to touch on this. Speaking of that, and we've always talked about this behind the scenes, me, you, and Sergio. But we call it our rating class. Code S is like top tier of artwork. Code A is like you got an A, like good
Yeah,
job.
you
B
do.
is I like it. C is it's dope, but I'm glad it's in your collection. You know what I mean? But we were talking about this. I was telling you that one thing that led me through a little rabbit hole as far as his thoughts was I was watching a 50 Cent interview, and he
Mhm.
was mentioning like you know as far as music, like you need to hear good, like you know what I mean, like you need to have good taste in music in order to make good music,
Absolutely.
right? And I thought about that. I was like, man, that makes sense in all ways. Again, as far as art wise, like so based on that, um, what would you give like Kith as a designer? Uh,
Hmm.
do you think he's code A, code B, code S? What are you guys' thoughts based on just simply based on the two Kith drops, the Batman and the X Men one?
They're between Coda and Code S. I mean, Code S is difficult because that's the highest
Yeah,
award you can give. So I think some aspects of those collabs are Code S, but um, I mean, overall, I think Kit does a really nice job in the design space. Um, Even going back, to that box where you had the Spider-Man, the
yeah,
Venom,
that
them
shit.
using certain images. So yeah, bro, I'm not mad at the Code S for what they did.
Well,
Even the
I get
Batman stuff was dope too.
I
So
give them code S on presentation,
Yes,
yes,
but I give them a code A on what it actually like is because the t-shirts, like the Batman t-shirts, some of them are like dope, but I'm not paying that much
well,
money
yeah,
for a t-shirt, bro.
yeah, the prices are not great.
yeah,
So
They're exclusive, It's
yeah,
exclusive.
yeah, but like you can get that shirt done, for the low,
yeah.
Like,
Hit him, Sergio, if you need one of those.
Yeah, Sergio knows somebody. No, it don't work that way.
somebody out
He'd
there,
be damn good at tracing. I'll tell you
Yeah. What about you,
that.
Sergio? You got any favorite hobby news event or collab?
Oh man, I mean, listen, this year was like the year of drama in like the CGC world and the Beckett world.
Oh
There's a lot
yeah.
of like hobby drama going on. So it was
Yeah, I
interesting.
forgot about that. You had the
Yeah,
whole CGC lawsuit, the whole the regrading lower class books into 9.8s through the was it the new label, right? Where
yeah.
they did the whole new label thing. The Banana Gate. Is it
Banana
Banana Gate?
Gate. I mean, no, the Banana Gate was like the
The
bending of like the books
bending.
and
That
the
was
new
this
like
year
design.
too. Yeah.
That was this year too. Yeah, it's just like in general, like a lot of
Uh,
like the whole Beckett thing, and I mean, yeah, it was just a weird
CGC
year.
had a
So,
rough year, bro. Yeah, just put it in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Do you think by saying that has it affected? You think it affects like the market?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with how it affects or if it affects the market, but I do think some of that happening contribute to PSA going hard and be like, "Yo, we're gonna do this." They were working on it before, but CGC had a rough year, so they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna introduce comics grading." I think that was a positive thing of that, and just people being straight up honest with some the companies like CGC laxing too much. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. People are being vocal now. So
Yeah, it all
that
started. Their fumble started when they got rid of the blue label for the cards.
well,
Then it started.
that happened. I
You
mean,
know.
for the cars guys, for sure.
Yeah, and then now the
Yeah,
comic thing.
yeah,
All I'm saying is they're taking L's all the way around.
yeah. It was a huge L year for. I mean, we're gonna do our L's of the year at the end, but yeah, no, CGC had
Nice.
a huge L this year. Um, another favorite news event collab for me was the Magic the Gathering Marvel promos. I like that we got to see, Marvel cards in TCG. I would have loved to see the Upper Deck do more of those, but anytime we can get an event exclusive card, I think is a positive thing. The X-Men 97 San Diego Comic Con promos, the packs, I think.
Yeah.
Shout out to homie James. He was there and gonna pick some up, but they sold out. I think the second day or maybe the first day. I don't remember. There was line to get those. They had the actors there to sign them, so that was pretty cool. You can get your promo packs, go in there and get them autographed by the actors. But anytime that you can do like event exclusive things, shout out to Cryptozoic. They did some for the Dark Knights Metal, where they had artists autograph some of those promo cards. Like, I loved all that stuff. Those are
And
some of my favorite things.
what's good, just to tie into that, like what's good about these like collabs and promos
Hmm.
is that there's really not much risk associated to the people that are collabing, because just by the nature of it being a collab or a promo, it's a limited print run, right? So
Yeah.
you don't run the risk of like people not
No.
picking them all up. They're gonna sell out quickly.
Yeah. And there's gonna be a buzz to it. I mean, it's something that people go in there like any person in the non-sports card world going to maybe already going to San Diego Comic Con or New York Comic Con, or it just gives them another thing that they can go collect and make it a bigger event so they can keep going to those events every year. It makes it memorable. So
Yeah,
I just think it's
it's
cool.
yeah, it's like bring back. We said it before, but bring back movie promos. You know how many more
Yes.
collectors would get out of their house to go,
Yeah.
go to the theater to get an exclusive promo that you're only going to get that opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of that stuff sold well in the aftermarket too. So, people trying to make a dollar.
It's a
You
good
already
thing
know how
all
that
around.
goes. Yeah. My last favorite hobby news though is happy at the very end. Beckett being sold. You know what I mean? So shout out to Beckett finally getting sold. You know what I mean? So
That's I feel like that's some hate, and I feel it's
nah,
personal.
I'm just glad they're in your hands. But they got new life. I don't know. At least there's gonna be a change, right? They're either gonna disappear completely or they're gonna,
Yeah, I didn't think they buy them out just to.
remake themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, keep the same logo, guys. Don't mess up the logo. Other than that, experiment, but don't mess up the logo. Because again, you saw how much of a change it was when we saw the difference in those PSA labels
Yeah.
for the comics, and also like they're obviously buying them for the logo and the grading system, because how many new slab companies came up last year and didn't make it? So you're not buying them
No,
just for their machinery to make the slabs, right? You're
no,
definitely buying them because of the brand
they're barely encapsulating things. Like,
Yeah.
their business has gone down so bad. So at least now, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. As where before this, it was predictable they're gonna die out. Now they might.
Hey, in
Mhm.
retrospect, drop a comment. What I mean, remind them that you just send out a whole a big submission to BGS. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
they're
get
doing
those.
okay. Hey, they're doing okay.
They're getting those black labels to to those Pokemon cards. Obviously, I know what's going on there. Yeah, no, that's always a
No,
play.
wow, that's crazy because Retro, he didn't even send any Pokemon in, Doc. It was all DBZ. That's
Oh, my
crazy.
bad. DBZ. There you go. Prism
Yeah,
cards, black labels. I love it.
there's none. It's unfortunate.
I'm just saying they need more. They need more clients to survive because the way it's going is not great. But shout out to Beggar being so. All right, guys. Let's move on to our next topic. Favorite comics of the year. Now this one's a little different. For me, it's mostly about what I read, and for you two, you guys can talk about maybe comics that you've just discovered this year, right? Because I don't
Yeah.
know how many modern stuff you're looking at. I know you guys are looking at foreigns and older stuff. I'll start off my favorite comics. Basically, I mean TMNT comics this year, having the Ninja Turtles reboot with IDW starting at number one. We're in 5 issues now. And I love the Turtles. The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. Uh, the Last Ronin being my favorite in uh, my favorite Turtles everything.
Yeah.
Reintroducing me back to Turtles and introducing me to the comic books. What was it maybe a year ago, 2 years ago? I forget when the first one came out. But yeah, now that we have Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution with the new Turtles, that's been fun. And I'm just going to say my third one, the Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Superman. All we're starting from number ones, a different interpretation of all the Trinity for DC. It's been fun so far for me, and I love like the new takes on these characters, new designs, and the amount of artists that are just drawing these new designs is always fun to see. So those are my favorite comics of the year.
Y'all know me. I don't really keep up with like modern kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just like if I had to do like maybe and include this into like like one of the favorite pickups was definitely the pickup from Free. Uh,
Oh
to
yeah,
find like get it off the checklist, like knocked it out before 2025. Just get it done, and now we feel accomplished, and uh, it's kind of nice though. Like when we say like checking off like a check mark, and like you start looking into other stuff, and I think that was like a cool thing. Like you feel like a relief.
yeah,
Like you got it out the way, and now you can move on to like looking at other stuff. And I think that's probably been like the funnest part for me for the hobby is getting into some just getting into other stuff, and watching also other people get into other stuff as well.
for sure.
Couple people getting into obviously when the DC announcement came out, some people came out and showed some Batman love, which is cool.
Yeah,
But like just in general, other people getting into different type of collecting. I think that's dope. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
for
I like
sure.
to see it.
Yeah, man. For me, I'll give you a modern, and I'll give you, same thing. Some of my goals that I hit this year that I'm very happy with. But as far as the modern stuff I've seen was, and I don't own this, but I think it's dope as hell, and I did want a copy. But I
Hmm.
think, and when we were touching on this, I mentioned to you guys another modern book that I'm after. But we kind of all mutually agreed that it was a little price too much for what it is. Modern book,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what you're able to get for something else. And this is another example of that. But the Secret Wars Doom, was it a very what was it called? The um, what are they? Was it a ratio? Was it a I
Ratio,
forget,
I
was
believe
it a
so.
ratio
Yeah, I believe
of the
so.
Secret Wars 10?
Yeah.
And that book was dope. And I think Doom or Free told me either of you, but I think it was Free told me it was limited to like a certain number,
Hmm.
and that's what made it more expensive. And I think those are like in the mid 200s or low 200s.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. So I wish I would have picked one up when I had the chance.
Yeah.
I saw them when they were 80, and I thought that was high.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So as far as pickups, yeah, same with Sergio, man. I'm really happy to be able to pick up the raw copy of the Tales to Astonish '93. I always wanted a raw copy, even before when I picked up the slab version, and
Yeah.
just to be able to go through that. And that was actually my first time. I also, as promised, posted my favorite uh, comic spot, or I was gonna call them comic cuts, splash pages or
Flashlight. Yeah.
strips.
The panels.
and
Yeah.
yeah, the panels. There you go. Thank you. And I had fun with that. It was dope. It was different. I'm still trying to figure out a nice way to present that better. Speaking of presentation, because I
Hmm.
don't know if I should show the whole page when I'm only maybe a fan of one of the panels, or just crop it to the single panel. Because when you crop it, it
Oh
kind of
yeah,
looks all
yeah,
fucked up for IG.
yeah. I mean, either one will work. But
Yeah,
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 oh yeah, you can break down your favorite one and then show like the full page on a different slide.
there
You
you go.
can do both of those. But yeah,
Yeah, so I was super happy about that. I didn't think I'd see another one as soon as I did, especially in the wild and in a fair spot where it's like in an auction format. Because had that been like a buy it now, I might have missed it. You know,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, for
never
sure.
know. So I appreciate that. And then the Dragon Ball that I am actually getting tomorrow. Probably
Oh
already
yeah,
have it by the time this is recorded. You probably already saw it on my IG, but it's the Dragon Ball Mexican edition. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And then yeah, like that's mainly it. Same thing what Sergio said. Like there's still ones I'm going after, and
hmm.
there's some that I missed on this year that you know about, and that's we'll talk about that later because we're going to talk about
Yes.
our biggest L's.
Yeah,
But,
we're gonna
you
do that
know,
at the end for sure.
so I want to start positive. You know what I mean? And just tell me
Yeah,
what happened for these
we're,
pickups.
yeah, yeah. We're talking about our favorite stuff for sure. All right. Next up, we have our favorite other collectible of the year. This is something that's not comics, not cards.
Easy.
Favorite collectible of the year. I'll start it off with shout out to Retroverse. The Batman animated Lego sets, and there's I believe there's a couple. There was the Cityscape one, which was $300.
Ooh,
Eventually, I want to get that one. Yeah, that's gonna take a lot of space though, and I was hoping it was more three dimensional. That one's more like a frame thing that you can hang, but it looks pretty cool. And then the Batmobile, the Batman animated Batmobile. So those were those were definitely some of my favorite other collectibles, along with all the Mondo like South Vinyl figures, the Sofubi looking Ninja Turtles, and some of the other stuff. The other IPs they did it for are also interesting, but yeah, those two are definitely my favorite other collectibles of the year.
nice.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, it has to be diecast, man. Um,
Hmm.
and I went through we were talking about cleansing our collection earlier, and you went through a big cleanse with Doom as a character as a whole,
Yeah,
and I think I went through a really big diecast cleanse, and that one
yeah,
was tough for me, man, because I had some of those diecasts for 8 years on
damn,
the high end,
yeah,
and I sold a lot of those last year. A lot of those 100% Hot Wheels. I sold off the Ferrari collection, the Porsche collection. But one of my pickups on the positive side
hmm,
was the R32, the ignition model
oh yeah,
164 scale
nice,
I showed you guys made out of resin.
yeah,
Like super happy about that pickup. Um, but yeah, so I switched that collection a little bit around. I'm gonna focus more on Japanese models than I am on Hot Wheels. Like I definitely kept all my lower end Hot Wheels that are like 40 bucks and under, and
yeah,
I got rid of the ones where I'm just like I can't justify how expensive they are.
right, yeah, man,
To your point, that's where I got to on the diecast.
yeah.
Granted, I haven't got to that in other stuff. you know, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Man, listen, the other collectible for me, like for at least like the gaming part of it, was the Marvel's Capcom release. Like I think that was pretty huge.
Oh, that was a big
Uh,
one. Yeah, for you, for sure.
for me and for the gaming community, man. People have been waiting for that game to come out for a long time. So
And by
thankfully we
the
got it out
gaming
the way.
community, he means him and his son when he beats up every
Yeah,
time.
we're just part of it. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. You make sure he plays his
Well,
part in the
it,
community.
The challenge has been put out, but nobody wants to answer the call. Tim, where
Wow,
you at?
Johnny,
Johnny, where
Johnny.
you at?
Oh, that's crazy.
that's
You
That
know,
is
crazy.
true. Hey,
Well,
oh, no one,
put
none of
your
them
gamer
told me
tag
about.
out there
Wow.
if you really want to smoke. You haven't put your gamer tag out there.
if you want to find me on, if you want to find me on the PlayStation Network PSN, type in spoiled with a D, no E, and goods. You know what I mean? Find me on there anytime, any day. You
There
know,
you
I sent out a couple challenges, but nobody, like I said, no one's answered the call.
go.
And if you play Man You Beat Sergio, please leave a comment. I'll send you a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take
please,
if you have like a screenshot or even like a video clip, we'll play it
Yeah.
please.
And it
on
has
the
to be, you
next.
can't be related or affiliated to Sergio in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
There
no, it
you
I
has
go.
just
to
want to throw
be.
that out. So you can't be your son sending me the video. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what
No, no,
Sergio
no,
would try
God,
to do.
no.
No, for sure.
You know,
Uh,
I try to get like tournament going. Nobody wanted to come up to it. You know, so some people are about it, some people aren't. It's okay. You
Hey,
know,
I might.
Ronus actually. Shout out Ronus if you're out there. You were talking all that shit back in the day about the Marvel Capcom, but I don't see you, bro. I don't see you. That's all I'm saying. So,
uh,
shout out to Ronus too.
there you go. Shout out to Rodis.
Yeah,
Uh,
and don't make me, dog. Don't make me pull up with those those arcade control sticks. You know what I mean? Careful, dog. You know what I mean?
he's gonna have like the turbo button. He's gonna hit
I
the little
want.
turbo
I need
button
all
on
the
you.
advantages. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go. You know, you,
And
And with
you don't want to give it to
and
you
with
straight up.
your internet, I win. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to hook up a LAN.
We're gonna hook up something. We gotta hook up something.
We're gonna have to hook up a LAN
So
party.
yeah.
it is definitely, and I can vouch that it's definitely his favorite other collectible because he played it literally while we were
Yeah,
recording multiple times. Um,
yeah.
yeah, we heard the
That
controllers.
listen,
Go on.
it kept me busy. It kept me saving, and
Yeah.
it made me a lot more selective in like what I picked up because
It it
I was
inspired the
spending time.
direction you started collecting
Yeah,
too. I
it
think.
did.
I was spending time. You know what I mean?
It reminded him of when he used to game hardcore, and that's how I went through
Yeah,
those. Come on
Yeah,
now.
for sure. Yeah, man.
that's it.
I like
And
that.
then sometimes you got to remind people that you're still the one.
There you go, man.
The people's voice, or the voice of the people. My bad,
Voice of
dog.
the people, dog.
There you
All right.
How many people we don't know.
go.
Don't even worry about it, dog. There's
No, I'm
people
not.
there.
But I just want people that we don't know is what I'm saying. I don't want
Uh,
to accuse us of inflating prices. You know what I mean?
for sure, for sure. Next up, favorite car sets of the year. I feel like I should go last. Do you guys have any entries in this, or did y'all not really vibe with the car sets this year?
You know me. I'm more picky as far as I didn't see sets as a whole body of
Yeah,
work
yeah.
with the new stuff, but there was cards and inserts that definitely caught my eye.
Hmm.
And looking back, especially when some of these things started coming up on eBay, I didn't watch too many breaks. This one, I think it's the Avengers medal. It was the those.
But you said single cards only because we have a category for that. If you want to just save it for that
Oh
one.
damn! I gotta say a lot of things today. All right, go ahead. So just sets as whole. Just shout out
Yeah, it
sets.
sets as
Well,
whole.
there you go. Avengers medal is gonna be a shout out.
Okay, cool.
Uh, the beginnings. I was interested, believe it or not, at one point for the Gambit comic book booklet. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the comic booklet was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I never got a hold of that. Or even seen. See what I'm saying? You're bringing up sad shit, dog. So I was trying to
My
stick to the
bad,
ones
bro.
Anyway, man. Still don't got well, speaking of Marvel Beginnings, they still don't got the hologram either. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, no, yeah, I think the Marvel Beginnings set was dope for many reasons for me. I just like that style.
Yeah.
They didn't screw up too bad on the holograms. I saw some and they look better than I thought, even though they did put the hologram font too. We criticized that set when we saw it on the sales sheets already, but I will say that they
Yeah.
look better than I thought they would.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Avengers Medal, and then I would say Platinum. Even though I don't own any card that's a platinum, I take that back. Subby gifted me a base Gambit, um,
Nice.
but
Yeah.
other than that, I don't own any of it.
Hmm.
But just looking at the quality of the cards and the numbering and the different parallels,
Yeah.
I think that definitely was a set of the year. Just being non-biased.
Cool. Yeah. What about you, Sergio? Yeah, a couple picks.
See, that's a tough one for me because I mean, listen, if I had to give a shout out to one, it's definitely the Avengers medal, like in the PMGs, like it hit a good mark. A lot of people enjoyed them.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Uh, and obviously that's a positive thing, but unfortunately, it's at the end of the rope. It's a little too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a
But
later release.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, I just haven't really been following like cards too much like that.
Hmm.
But I do enjoy a rip here and there, watching something just to see like what it is and just moving on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I don't have to chase everything. I don't have to like buy into like just like the random stuff because if it's like a character, we're just chilling right now. We're coasting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're still looking though. We're still
Oh,
shooting
we're
our
always
shit.
looking, dog. We're always looking.
He
Mhm.
wanna let you know, Sergio. Don't think I'm slipping though.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
we're, we're
sure.
we're we're just moving with the current. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, favorite card sets of the year. My honorable mention goes to Batman 85th anniversary, and that's only because it's just hit my nostalgia with the animated week. Solely because of that, hitting that Batman Beyond plate, seeing the Batman Beyond card, seeing DC Batman cards under Upper Deck, kind of just teasing what the new year has in store. It's fun for me. And here we go. So my number three set of the year is Avengers Metal. I think it got some hate. I think it got overlooked by some people, and it was I just blame it at bad timing. It was released towards the end of the year after we knew that Fanatics was taking over Marvel. By then, like a lot of the a popularity hit. Like it was just a lot of sets coming out during that time, and it's just bad timing. But some of the best retro PMG designs I've seen, and some of those rival the 2013s. The way they recreated those retro PNGs were amazing. Um, and the artwork selection on some of those the bigger characters, some of my favorites. And just overall, like the attention to detail on the design, they really took their time to make those shine. And we'll get to big L's of the year. Some of the other sets didn't shine because lack of attention to detail. But we'll get to that later. So Avengers Medal for sure. Seeing the purely periodics back, and Intimidation Nations, like some of those Fleer retro designs back in the modern post 2015 set. It was pretty dope to see. My second favorite card set of the year, definitely Marvel Platinum. I feel like that's the number one Marvel set of the year. It was the biggest, I guess, introduction of a modern sports centric type of set for non sports, right? For Marvel cards. And I mean, it was Upper Deck doing Topps Chrome, basically. It was awesome to see the one of ones, the gold vinyl one of ones, the golden treasures. It was cool to see a bunch of those parallels, all the technology they used for some of those chromium parallels, blue surge parallel from the retail blasters, probably my favorite one. I felt like the original art in that set really shined. I really loved what they did with platinum. I loved that you could pull big cards from the blasters. I felt like it created a hype, and like people were really into it. And it was during a time where a lot of people were creating content because they were excited about a new type of card for Marvel cards. Uh, we only saw Chromium cards from Vibranium, which was not a great set in my opinion. So it was just cool to see, shiny foil, rainbow looking cards for Marvel cards, and a cool like mix of comic book art and original art for the set. So Marvel Platinum, definitely the most influential, biggest Marvel card set of the year. What it did with Whatnot and just kind of turning up a lot more eyes onto that product. a lot more people coming into Marvel because of that product. I think it had a huge effect. So, and my number one favorite card set of the year just released not too long ago, maybe last week, Fleer Retro Looney Tunes. Maybe a lot of people not
Nice.
expecting that, but bro, my favorite card set. I saw two case breaks of that, and it's Fleer Retro, and every sense of the word. They have jambalayas, they have PMGs, they have a bunch of I believe EX Centuries, or I forget the name of some of those parallels, but dope. Just to see a modern Fleer Retro set and the way the quality looks, the designs look for Looney Tunes, where you have some of the modern Looney Tune
Oh
design,
yeah.
character designs, and some of the vintage ones. Like, bro, that set is so much fun. Nostalgic for me because I grew up a Taz fan, Marvin the Martian, Speedy Gonzalez. Probably my three favorites. But the Upper Deck took their time. You can tell they designed the shit out of that set. So that's my favorite card set of the year. Like hands down, easy, the best design set I've seen all year. Yeah, and hopefully pick up some cards this upcoming year. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait till it's EPEG and people, buy the shit out of it and dump it on ComC because I'm gonna want some of those. I'm gonna want some of those singles. But yeah, hell yeah! If you haven't seen it, go check out Flow Retro Looney Tunes. Trust me, when you see it, you can understand what I'm saying,
Yeah, I understand you.
bro.
I'm looking at it right now.
This is sick, dog. For sure.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right, elusive. We were talking about this earlier. Next category: favorite single card of the year. Are there any specific cards that stood out for this year?
Yeah, one of them for me was the periodic Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah, bro, that's sick.
That one stood out to me.
The artwork is tough. With the what is it like blasters? Like he's like boosting up or something, flying.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a variant too. Uh,
Oh yeah, there's two pillar
yeah,
periodic. Yeah.
and but yeah, it was the one first you mentioned with the rocket pack.
Yeah.
So that one was definitely
That's the
worth a mention.
Metaloid, I think.
Okay,
Actually, I could be wrong. It could be the other one. But yeah, go ahead.
and no, yeah, the other card was the Silver Surfer from the Topps Chrome set.
Top
That,
Scrum, yeah.
that was a good pick. Um, you know, those are selling pretty high. Those are dope. The
Yeah.
artwork is by we mentioned the artist yesterday. Well, I'll save that for the artist list, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that one stood out, and for more for the artwork. The pretty periodic was both the card design and the
Mm-hmm.
artwork were good for that Doom, so that was a good combo as well.
For sure.
Uh, I'm trying to think of one more. Yeah, the one of ones from Platinum looked dope.
Golden
Um,
Treasures.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those are my three. I'll say those.
What about you, Sergio? You got anything?
I'm gonna have to plead the fifth on this one, bro. Because
Yeah.
other than like from what I did see, obviously like the 101, like the big cards,
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
You don't rock with the quad auto Topps Chrome, dog?
the Fashim, yeah, come on.
Facsimile autos?
Let,
Yeah.
let me let me let me get that. I need one of those. You know?
It's
Yeah, no,
definitely
yeah. I mean, that kind of just like gives a little bit of excitement.
yeah, for sure.
Shout out to the old shit though.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. For me, my number three is the Avengers Metal Iron Man Red Retro PMG.
Okay.
Uh, we talked about it earlier, like the retro designs, they made them spot on to 2013. Damn near, but there's very minor differences in some of the fonts. I think font size or something. But bro, they look gorgeous. And I don't know, for some reason, the Iron Man Red Retro is one of my favorite looking PMGs from that set. Number two is the Fleer Ultra Wolverine Rogue Green Medallion. And green because it's a color match, but really any of those medallions, it's one of the few and one of the best rogue cards. Period. They finally chose great rogue art. Uh, and they've disrespected Rogue for a long time. They disrespected Gambit too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he could go through the all the sets.
Super disrespectful.
Super
Even the
disrespectful.
animated series, which is just on principle, I didn't finish that. So just for that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
If you would finish it, I mean, they did a lot of good things with Gambit and that. But I hear you what you're saying. But yeah, Florida Warrior Rogue, Green Medallion, second favorite, and my number one, easily without a doubt, the Marvel Platinum Cyclops Golden Treasure, one of one. And I'm gonna talk about this in our next column, but like the artwork for that new artist and specifically the one without the trade dress, the variant cover, I guess. The Golden Treasure, the way that appears on the background and like Cyclops just looks dope. It's
yeah.
my favorite card of the year. All right, here we go. Now we're moving on to the next column, which is artist slash artwork. We're gonna start with favorite card or sketch card artist of the year. I'll kick it off. My favorite sketch card artists, Liddy Lee. I think she's still the best sketch card artist. Anytime she draws, uh, I just love her style, and I love the mystique that I've seen. I love the Jean Grey's. Like every time she kills it. So Liddy Lee's up there for me. Miles Wool. Shout out to Miles Wool. Uh, some of them, like the stuff he started doing this year where he paints a sketch card with oil paintings on the card itself in the back of the card. I thought that was a cool thing to do for sketch cards, like something new for the hobby, and he's killing it sketch card wise. Like I've seen him do some dope shit. So shout out to Miles Wool. Also seems like a pretty cool dude, so shout out to him. Uh, a new artist. Again, I talked about the Cyclops Platinum card is Gilberto Martimiano. Uh, he also did the Spider-Man Power Blast for Flair, which is one of my favorite artworks of the year too. And yeah, I really enjoyed his artwork. And I got some honorable mentions. Kyle Cacao, OG. We've seen him in the 2017 Florida Spider Man doing, Spider Gwen and some other cards. He did dope X Men characters in Platinum, Magneto, Storm, uh, Colossus. Like, he just killed it this year. And I really enjoyed his work. And personal shout out to the homie Tim. This one, is unfair. I got to see some of the sketches he worked on that unfortunately didn't make it because they cut off some of these sets, but he's been leveling up, and I can't wait to people to see his sketch cards. Hopefully, this upcoming year and other sets. But yeah, shout out to Tim. Tim's always working.
Yeah, and you can see that as you said, man. You can see it as practice.
Yeah,
And he is only getting better. I could attest for that. Like
yeah, for
I
sure.
remember early on his sketches and what he's doing now is dope. So
Yeah, he's stepping
yeah,
up.
shout out to Tim. I would say shout out to Bill Sinkovich.
Yeah,
Sketch card wise, I know a lot of people,
platinum.
including you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, but also like I've been seeing, since more people have gotten his sketch cards, I see more of his art floating
commission.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
aftermarket. Yeah, for sure.
so it's dope to see. I think he's. I would say even though people have always known who he is, this is definitely his breakout year for like sketch cards.
In our hobby, yeah, he definitely had a
Yeah,
shine this year for sure. In sketch cards. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with Elusive. I would have to say, I saw a lot of Bill Sienkiewicz sketches this year, and I thought that was dope. A lot of people got into him. The Johnny Melfi, we got a couple. I know, everyone got a little Bill Sienkiewicz, and it was dope. It's cool to
Yeah.
see, and yeah, I mean, shout out to him. You know, his that he sees the world different. I'm sure of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very unique style. Shout
Yeah.
out to
So
Sienkiewicz for sure.
as far as like sketches that really like set me back this year for sure. It was watching those Sienkiewicz sketches when you guys all got their commissions back. That was dope.
Yeah. No, homie's got some crazy stuff. Even shout out to Retroverse. Retroverse got a dope X23. Next topic we have is our favorite comic artist of the year. You want to start this, Sergio?
Yeah. So at least for me, again, like I don't look too into modern stuff. Like I mean, I am aware of certain covers that come out and stuff like that. But the one artist for me and the commission that we got was early on in the year was Maria Wolf for sure.
Yeah,
She's kind of
yeah,
got like a funky vibe to her art style, and it's just dope.
yeah.
It's a little bit different, and I happen to like certain covers that she does of like different IPs and everything. So I think she's pretty dope. Shout out to her.
She covered a lot of different IPs too. I feel like she did a bunch of variant covers from
Yeah,
multiple. Even like you have Turtles and Spider Punk, like DC stuff. So yeah, I mean it was dope.
I think this year I looked into a lot of Frank Frazetta,
Nice.
so shout out to him. Uh,
Yeah,
A lot of Neil Adams this year for me as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mainly them for me as far as comic book artists.
I still need to look up Frazetta stuff. I mean, these are and those are two names you hear often, right, in comic book circles. But I haven't really done a deep dive. Uh, for me, favorite comic artist of the year. Same with Sergio Maria Wolf. Shout out to James too, the homie who. It all started with that Doom cover that she did, the Doom variant cover. And yeah, bro, just I didn't know about her. I didn't know her artwork, and it was dope. She's been killing it. She's done a bunch of TMNT variant covers, which are dope. So definitely Maria Wolf. Second would be Danny Earls, someone that I found this year. And I mentioned it before, but he did some of the TMNT variant covers where they all connect.
Yeah,
Uh,
shout out to him.
yeah.
He was one I didn't want to mention him because I know that was on your list, but his architecture is super dope as well.
Yes, his architecture on that like New York City images, those were dope. And he did another one just recently with Batman, which also like a bunch of architecture in it. Uh, he's just cool overall. I love his stuff. Uh, an artist I found out about this year, I really love their style, not necessarily what they're working on, but they've done variant covers, specifically Transformers one that I've seen, and Absolute Batman, which is where I discovered a lot of new artists. Is Ian Bertram. Uh, really trippy style. It's like a very like everything's kind of dripping, and it reminds me of like the famous Dali painting where everything's kind of the clock is
Melting.
like hanging and like everything's just melting. Yeah, like his style is definitely like that. And bro, the Transformers variant cover and the Absolute Batman covers so dope. So shout out to Ian Bertram. Honorable mentions: Trent Win, uh, uh, done dope Marvel variant covers. There's a Daredevil Electro cover she did. There's a Phoenix cover she did, and a couple other ones which are sick. And she's mostly like she works in color pencil, but the level of detail on those amazing. So make sure y'all follow Trend Win. And then the last honorable mention, Mateo Scalata. Dope commissions he's been working on. I found out about him through a podcast, and He's like a podcast between a bunch of artists, the Ink Pulp podcast, which I listen to, and just seeing some of his Batman work from recent work he's done, and like the commissions that he's done. Dope. He did a variant TMNT cover, and just even did something for, I believe, Cryptozoic, where it's like they used it for a Kickstarter game, traditional board game, which is Joker and Harley. But he kicks ass. Some of his Batman's commissions are amazing. So, and he's just a funny dude. Like everything about him is dope, and I love his style. Now we're gonna talk about our favorite artwork or art piece of the year. For me, I've talked about it multiple times. Is Danny Earl TMNT connecting issues cityscape
With
favorite
the
hands
subway.
down. Dope. Yeah, the subway system, all the little, the little references to New York and TMNT.
Pizza,
Uh,
the little mini
yeah,
splinter rat.
yeah, all that shit. Like that to me is my favorite artwork of the year. What about y'all?
Some of the favorite artwork that I've seen this year has definitely been digging deeper into that Yoshitaka Amano for sure.
Yeah, that's
Going through
it.
some of his stuff is really cool. Going through some of his Vampire Hunter D work is pretty dope. And it's just
Yes.
very and also like going through his page stuff like that, and watching Peach, liking some of that stuff, and then it kind of clicks like, oh shit, like, what, Peach does have little taste of like old school Yoshitaka, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like some of Peach's work. You got
Yeah.
some underground hate, Peach lovers too, but they'll never come out to the light and say it. Well, that was probably like for sure like a dope piece that I saw, like going back to his older stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, is and he recently posts stuff that he'll be like, hey, like, past work, and you can kind of tell, like, stuff from way back in the day, and like his art style,
How
and
it's
his art style
changed.
now is very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to shout out, since kind of like you did a little bit of everything, but that opens it up for me. I'll shout out Bella Ratchin. She recently did the symbiote Spider-Man for the Unbound 4.
Unbound 4. No.
And not we were talking about that earlier. Not a lot of people could do the black suit pretty well,
Yeah.
and yeah, I enjoyed her rendition of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Those
and
are
she
dope
she
pieces.
takes a lot of I mean, I don't know if I'll say risks, but she definitely takes a different take with like a lot of the markers that she uses a little bit more colorful.
Yeah. She has very
She
vibrant color
Yeah,
schemes.
like she likes glowy, a lot of
Yeah.
glowy stuff.
Yeah.
But even it fit the way she did it over the gargoyle, and you can see the cityscape in the back and a nice sky shot. So shout out to her. I really enjoyed her artwork for that card
Yeah.
specifically.
Shout out to Bella. Yeah. She's dope. All right. Let's see. Now we're going to go to our third portion of awards. It's the collector slash content. And let's start it off where I think this is where I don't watch as many shows and movies. So anyway, this is where I think Elusive shines. But my favorite shows of the year, number one, The Penguin. Been talking about it all year. Favorite show, period of the year. Amazing. And I can't wait for more DC stuff. X-Men 97. Shout out to Gambit. I mean,
Yeah,
that fifth episode, bro. Rogue and Gambit, just solidify Rogue and Gambit. It's always been my favorite characters. It didn't get to see Mystique, but also loved all the appearances from. You got to see Doom in there. You got to see Spider Man. A couple other people showed up. It's dope. Return of like X Men the animated series, which is nostalgia for all of us. So that was awesome, and it lived up to expectations for me. The number three show of the year for me, I talked about it in one episode, Midnight Family, which is a Apple TV series, but it's in Spanish.
Oh yeah,
Uh, about the families with the ambulance.
business.
Loved it. Yeah, it was dope. Anyone wants to check out a good Mexican, show? For me, one of the few ones I've seen. And I'm looking for more. But Midnight Family was dope on Apple TV. And honorable mention to another Apple TV show, Shrinking, with what's his name, homie from yeah, Shrinking, which was season 2 with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. Basically a grieving therapist. Who you find out season 1 he lost his wife in a drunk driving accident, and he's kind of dealing with his own issues being a therapist. So it's got comedy, it's got some heartfelt stuff, and like a family dynamic. It's just dope show to me. So if you guys interested in that, check out Shrinking Apple TV. That's my honorable mention. What about y'all?
I'll go with three. I'll say Shogun. It's
Yeah,
a
Show was a
it's
big
a great
one.
show. It's
Yep.
only one season so far, so you can't really binge crazy for those. There's people like to kill a couple seasons at a time. But it's a great show. I recommend that. I recommend Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. It's another show
Yeah.
that for me,
Both of those I've heard a lot of people talk about. I just haven't checked them out all the way.
yeah. And my favorite show this year, just comedy wise, was it's called The Gentleman. It's a show by Guy Ritchie. He also made a
Okay.
movie a couple years back called The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey. There's really good actors,
Hmm.
but I just can't recall the other two right now. But yeah, it's a show about like the how the upscale live in London, and one of them, one family, they have two brothers and a sister, and the dad dies, and one of the kids is a fuck up, and the other guy's in the military. So you get to see how they were able to maintain their, because they live in a like straight mansion,
Right,
So
right, yeah.
he had to pick up where the dad left off, and yeah, it's super funny though. It's more of a comedy and action than anything, but
Nice.
that's a definitely a good watch for me.
I definitely have to say, and I tell you guys this all the time. I'm not a big, TV watcher, but I definitely got into Penguin this year for sure. I mean, hands down, I think that's like the number one show of the year.
Yeah.
It's exciting because it was exciting for me at least too, because it was also DC, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, I watched X-Men '97. I thought it was dope. Uh, Best movie of the year. I mean,
Yeah, we can
again,
go we can go to movies. Yeah, that's our next one. Favorite movies of the year. Yeah. Go
mm,
ahead. Kick it off, bro.
um, again, I don't watch too many movies or go to theaters, but I did watch Deadpool with the homie Teddy. Shout out Teddy. But
Shout out Teddy.
we want to go watch Deadpool Wolverine, and it was good. Again, fingers crossed you can keep the excitement going. But make the movies rated R. You know what I mean? A couple F bombs. The only thing that I thought it wasn't like per se like odd. Obviously, it's like to push like the limit of a rated R is like the use of like drug reference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I didn't think you had to. I didn't think you had to use like the drug reference like too many times. I would have preferred a few more F bombs. You know what I mean?
Nice. I still need to watch that one. I haven't watched it.
Oh, come on, you can watch it online. I mean, you can watch it on
Yeah.
stream. No.
Yeah. Again, if anyone knows me,
Um,
I don't watch many movies. I just need to get.
you you were able to name three shows. You definitely watch more TV than.
I definitely watch more TV than movies. Yeah, I lack in movies. Shout out to Tim. Tim's always talking about. He's got a list for me. I just haven't gotten to it.
Of what,
Uh,
of movies or TV?
Movies and TV. I mean, Tim watches a lot. Yeah, he's all about movies. So he's giving me a bunch that I need to, and a bunch of classics I've never seen too, like Goodfellas or Casino, like all this gangster shit. I've never seen it,
Yeah.
and he keeps telling me I need to watch. So
You got to catch up on some of the old ones for sure.
yeah, yeah. But the one I saw this year, I think technically it released last year, but I saw it this year. Godzilla minus one, favorite movie of the year. Like by far the best one I saw of the few ones that I saw. Uh, saw it multiple times. Just dope. Just loved it. Love Godzilla. And the way they did their like special effects, and I think they even showed it on YouTube where they started kind of showing like a small team how they handled doing a large amount of special effects and the smart way they approached it and like with
Yeah,
their own technology. That was just
they
impressive.
they just
Just
didn't like overdo it. You know.
yeah, and it felt like a monster movie. You know what I mean? Like it was dope. Uh, yeah, I loved it. And I still need to watch it in black and white. I haven't seen the black and white version yet, but I want to check it out. By the way, I listened to that in Spanish because Sergio, you know, I don't like to read subtitles if possible.
Yeah.
Great Spanish track
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, I recommend it.
Nice.
And my other movie of the year, it was the documentary. It was a Mike Mignola Drawing Monsters documentary. Love Mike Mignola's artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Just getting to see more about how his story and his effect in like just the creative space was dope. So I definitely recommend that. Those are the two favorite movies of the year. What about you, Elusive?
Yeah, man, it's tough. Like, not a lot come to mind, but unfortunately, like the recent movies I've been watching with my wife,
Hmm.
she's into horror, as I told you guys before, horror and fucking serial killers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And but I watched A Quiet Place day one. I thought that
Okay.
was a great movie. Especially, I wasn't expecting certain things in the plot based on the fact that I had seen the first one, which was a great movie as well.
Hmm.
And then one that I'm not saying it was a great movie, but I'm gonna shout it out anyway because it's definitely disturbing. So if you guys like disturbing movies, it's called Long Legs.
Oh, I
Um,
heard about that one.
yeah, the tone is disturbing. It's not even like obviously even the topic is crazy, but the tone of the movie, it's almost like which that means obviously the director did a great job, but it's almost like you're in the damn like you could see how this guy thinks, and it's like a disturbing vibe during the whole movie. To me, it was disturbing,
Uh,
dog,
yeah,
and it wasn't even that violent or anything. It was just crazy.
it's just creeped you out.
It's just disturbing in a way. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a kind of mood,
Is that the
like
one where they say that's Nicolas Cage is in it?
yeah,
Okay, I heard about it. Yeah, again, yeah, the way you describe it disturbing, but I don't and that there's some like twist or something. I don't know, but they hyped it up.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a bad. It's just again, it wasn't my cup of tea. I enjoyed the acting and everything, and again, it was suspenseful to a certain extent,
Yeah,
but just disturbing. Like if you know how they sometimes if you're walking out the theater and tell you what the vibe was of the movie,
yeah.
that's what I would say.
Is there any way you can describe what it is without giving too much of a description?
Yeah, I think it's well, actually no, I cannot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it's
not without. Yeah.
the way people talk about it seems interesting, but you know I hate shit like that. So I don't.
What in clowns? I'll tell you that there's no clowns
Okay, well,
involved
then at least we're good. We're good on that
that
department.
I know of. But Google it just to make sure.
No, I'm
I don't
good.
want
All
you
right.
to think I set you up or anything.
No, no, it's all good. Man. I'll pass on it, but I'll tell my sister watch it and let me know what it happens.
Yeah, she'll give
Uh,
you the cliff notes.
yeah, no, she'll watch that shit for sure. All right, next we have favorite albums or songs of the year. I'm just gonna say like Kendrick Lamar's GNX album and everything he did this year was dope. The whole battle, every song was entertaining. And like looking forward to Super Bowl, see what he does, and any other disses he throws at people because I feel he's like dissing everybody. So very 2024 energy. I liked it. Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips, same TDE artist. Schoolboy Q, one of my favorite artists from back in the college days. I thought he dropped a dope album with Blue Lips and Vince Staples' album this year, Dark Times. Just the vibe and the message. Those were my favorite albums of the year.
Nice. I mean, yeah, you took my number one as well, Kendrick, man.
Yeah,
Like the whole diss, I like the whole energy. Um, I thought it was dope. I thought he surprised the. I think surprised some people, like you said,
yeah, some
especially
for sure.
mainstream people. He surprised.
A lot of them. Yeah, they just didn't know what he was capable
Yeah, so that was dope, and then definitely surprised me after putting out those hits of fucking back and forth with Drake. Those were hits to me,
Yeah,
and then dropping this classic album, and shout out to my favorite song was "Reincarnated." I was telling you,
yeah,
it had the Tupac vibe to it, so
yeah,
I enjoyed the conversation he's having in that song as well. So yeah, that's the one for me. Other than his, I think he had such a good year that honestly I didn't really think of other artists throughout the year
yeah.
as
He
far as
was a
new albums.
yeah, he was a big like he took over the year for sure.
For sure, by far, album of the year has to go out to Kendrick. You know,
Yeah,
it's a no brainer. You know, a lot of some new music too. You know, I don't know if Elusive, you're out there in the on the West Coast. You guys fuck with Lefty Gunplay.
I don't know if I don't know if we fuck with him. And what you mean by that? I
No,
don't. I know who he is. I don't listen to his music
no.
personally. No.
You guys don't support. Supporting.
Um, I wouldn't
I
say.
it is funny
I
thing.
think I think I support him as much as you probably support 6ix9ine.
6ix9ine.
Is that fair?
Wow.
uh,
No,
I
I don't know.
I this is what I observed. Sergio's always listened to young music. I feel
Yeah,
old, yeah, because you're up
Well,
on like
for sure.
his son puts him on. You know.
yeah, well that's dope. Yeah, definitely. I'll say this: people who put me onto
But
music
I do
is
have questions. Sorry.
Sergio, Will. Shout out to Will. This is like the younger music that I hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The younger.
I definitely got to question your son though if he thinks Gunplay's a good artist or something. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Nah, I mean, like there's you may not like every track, obviously, but like I don't know, maybe there's like a song that
What song do you like,
you might.
Sergio? Tell me.
Um, let me tell you right now. He has one with hold on, let me see.
The one your son's telling you about?
No, I mean, listen, I heard it the other day, but you gotta sometimes you gotta give some music a chance, and
That's true. I
give it a
want to
chance and
listen
it's
to
Yeah,
his
so
trash,
that's
and
music.
what
you're
I'm
just like,
saying.
oh fuck it,
That's
Yeah.
why you
you
got to
know.
tell me one of your artists so I can look it up. Like one of the songs.
I just I thought
I
you would
know.
support. I thought you would support your opinion on that song.
How about this? I'll support the song you put in the other day. I'll support Benny the Butcher. How about that?
Benny the Butcher.
Griselda?
Yeah, I mean, the Griselda boys. I'm pretty sure I put you guys onto that. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, that's false.
You know,
No.
El Camino. 38 Special. Man, come on, stop playing with me, bro.
No.
Uh, yeah, I have to go through through the YouTube to find it, but
Yeah, I'm sure. He
And
has a lot of
Sergio's
hits with Big
always
Pun.
on to the Spanish music too. I noticed.
yeah, that's true too. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
What do you listen to in Spanish too, Sergio?
In Spanish,
Yeah.
man, it depends. Like, I'm not a big fan. I'm a big fan of the modern stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's some stuff. Like there's a couple things that you do make the exception for, but you try to keep it old school with the old school shit, man. A little bachatica too. There's nothing wrong with that. Feel a little bachata.
There you
You know, the
Uh-huh.
salsita merengue. Keep it simple.
go.
Yeah, but like, well, give me some artist names, like not like genres.
Oh no, I mean, come on, man. I mean, there's so many artists in like the Spanish realm. I
There's a
can't give
lot
you
of
like
them. Can you give me three that you really enjoy?
that I enjoy.
Any genre you want, as long as it's Spanish speaking, like you said.
Damn, dude. No, that's tough, man. I
Is it?
mean, yeah, dude. Like to be selective. I mean, listen, I'm a fan of Aventura. Shout out to Aventura.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, back in the day when it was the
OGs.
whole crew. Yeah, the whole
Mhm.
crew.
You're like a big Bad Bunny fan. Saying.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny has some music last year, not this. I think he's been quiet this year, no?
I
Yeah,
mean, some people
ever
say he
since.
attended a couple of birthday parties. You know,
Some people.
I don't know. I don't know
You
what the
know.
fuck.
that's what the word
I
is around. I mean, that's
uh,
not.
I miss
Eventually.
those videos, Doc. I don't. Yeah, I ain't see that.
They're not videos.
Oh, well, so you just heard it on a podcast, or
Yeah, I heard it. All right.
oh, okay.
Oh
Well,
man, he's
I
got the
missed that
evidence.
podcast, though. Sorry.
He's got the
No.
evidence for sure. No, no. Listen, Bad Bunny. Listen, outside of like what you hear on the radio, he does have some fucking fresh tracks. Like back in the day, like recently, like I can't say the same, but like back in the day, he has some good music on there for sure. But I wouldn't say he's like like one of my favorites, bro. Like man,
No, I mean,
fuck
like Sergio will be listening to Nathaniel Cano. I know he puts him on
yeah.
sometime. Like, yeah, I'd be peeping.
And like sometimes like you hear like the algorithm gives you blesses you with a new corrido, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, for sure.
then you know
Yeah,
what's up,
for
you know.
sure.
Oh wow. Doom hitting you with the get out of jail free card.
That's
I
crazy.
see. I see what goes on in here. Anyway, let's go.
It's a
Continue.
vibe thing, though. He's got to be in the
Yeah.
vibe. You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. Of course.
All right. Next one. Favorite video slash podcast of the year. Remind me video, like favorite YouTube channel videos. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So my number one Ink Pulp podcast. I talked about it before. Couple comic book artists, Mattel Scalara, Sean Crystal, sometimes Jim Mahfood, and sometimes Eric Canetti. Love that podcast. They talk to other creators, other artists, other, I believe, writers, and just creative people talking the creative process. It's funny and like you get to see a little bit of how that industry works. And then they're all talented too. So love that podcast. Um, Shout out to Friday night, Saturday morning. Talked about it in the last podcast. With Ian Taylor and Amanda talking non-sports cards, just random sets, and just not the non-Marvel card sets. And I really enjoy that. They interview people who collect some of the non-sports stuff. So I want to see more non-sports podcasts and non-sports just channels in general.
Well, remember
Uh,
the guy I put you guys on to? The guy from Latin America.
yeah, like that. The collector, yeah,
Yeah,
collecting channel.
that's dope,
Oh,
right?
sick. And then also like shout out to Dave, West Coast Avengers. He's got his direct edition podcast for that I enjoy. He kind of talking about his stories and just topics that are important to him during the
Nice.
year. There's a dope Godzilla movie comparison with um what's the shark movie? What's that big shark movie? With
Meg?
comparison with Jaws, where
Oh,
he kind of compares both movies. So yeah, he's super into films too. So it's cool. Cool listening to that, Shaka. And check out his YouTube, like content he does. Recently he went to Japan, like showing some content on that. That's always dope to see. Um Other video channels I enjoy. Toy Migos, always watch them. They have a Thursday show called They're Not Dolls, where they talk about a bunch of like uh figures, their favorite figures of the week, and figure news and all that stuff. Toying Around is another toy channel. My favorites being the Enablers, which is a bunch once a month. Him and a specific crew he has. Uh, they started like doing like a point system where they're like enabling to get this one. Like, oh look, check this out. This one's super dope, and their collectors are like, oh damn, I gotta go buy it. So then you get points for that. So they call themselves the Enablers. But they're just funny and they also do like an annual charity stream where they go 24 hours and just funny, dope people who know a lot about the action figure and that community. That's where I get my action figure news. New channel I found, the Comic Pals, and there's 3 to 4 guys who talk about the latest releases in comic books and like interview artists. Um, I really enjoy the way they break it down, so shout out to them. And my honorable mentions goes to Alpha Investments. Shout out to Rudy. Always interesting to hear
So,
him break down like investments, right? Just strategies he uses. Interesting dude. And uh Daniel Warren Johnson, which is an artist and writer. Uh and he does every Friday with D Dubs, he calls it, and he just goes live stream, talks to people and draws, and he is mainly in charge of the currently a couple of books, but Transformers being the big one, and he kind of started that for the new Energon universe. So shout out to him. Those are my favorite YouTube channels and podcasts of the year. What about y'all?
Sergio, you go first, man.
Um, I would definitely say, you guys know I'm not too deep into Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I watch you guys rave like 151. That was fun to look at, but obviously like through recommendation or just like I don't even know conversation. Who knows what it is, but the guys, I think he has 2 channels. One of them's called like Deep Pocket Monsters or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the short one is Short Pocket Monsters. And the Short Pocket Monsters is the one that I guess send you guys a video.
Oh
He has like
yeah,
the little jingle with like, should I open it or should I keep it sealed?
bro. One of the best like shorts, like
It's so
just
good.
bro, so good. He's got jingles and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So shout out to him, man. As much as I'm not into Pokemon, watching him, do his thing on his channel, I love it. You know what I mean? Can't get
yeah.
enough of it.
And he basically rips packs or like boxes, and he tells you what he pulled out of it. Was it worth opening or not? Like, but in
Yeah,
like super high quality and like entertaining way. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just dope and
Right.
And
funny too.
and he did the Gengar video. I'll send you the Gengar video where he
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to do
yeah.
like the master set.
Yeah, I
So
saw that one. Yeah,
that was really cool. Obviously, being a fan of Gengar, the Pokemon, like watching him like go through a challenge where he's like, "Hey, I need to get like every single
yeah. Character
Gengar like
collecting,
card
basically. Yeah,
during a certain time." That was fun. And then obviously, like the shorts of it is just, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's like almost like addictive. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
watch one,
It's
you're
like a
like,
little
I
game
want to
show.
see.
Yeah,
It's like a little game show, man. So shout out to him.
Well,
That was
that,
probably one of the most exciting ones that I've seen recently.
yeah, I was gonna say just on that guy. I mean, when you guys shared that link, I saw it, and that's how I pulled that Gengar out that I had randomly and threw it on
ah,
auction.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what sparked that.
nice.
Yeah, podcast for me, man. Honestly, more than even hobby related, I'm always watching comedy. So for me, I listen to the Kill Tony podcast, which is once a week.
Hmm.
He has like those stand-up comedians that could do a minute each, and that shit's fun as hell for me. I watch that. I watch another guy. His name's Lex Friedman. Uh, he has different guests on, some political, some business wise, or some fighters, a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
Um, and then the channel I was mentioning to you guys, a shout out to Mirada Geek.
Yeah,
This is like a Spanish only podcast that there's a guy that goes up to different, like literally very different collectors and goes into their home. It's kind of like a lot of MTV Cribs, but this guy's been doing it for a long time. Uh, I think he has like close to 300,000 subscribers already, and he just shows you what it's like to go to like even his outdoor swap meets out there in his country. I believe he's from Argentina,
yeah.
but I could
Sounds
be
like it.
wrong.
Yeah, sounds like
Uh,
it.
but yeah, it's dope, man. It's a you don't have a lot of that content, especially in English. You know.
And his like the one you showed me where he's showing like a collection, like a collector's collection.
Hmm.
Even though it's in Spanish, like if people want to watch it, I think you can put subtitles for English. Like it's some crazy collections. He goes and interviews people. It's
Yeah.
dope.
And if you're a DBZ fan, there's a lot of DBZ collections.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but that's my main one. Um, Honorable mention. I have seen a couple videos because when I do look up collectibles, I'm mainly looking into foreign stuff, looking
Mhm.
to learn as much as I can. And there's a channel called yeah, it's Tales from the Flip Side. Yeah, so shout out to them. They how a lot of people in the foreign community, even like what me and Sergio are doing, like they're going for sets, right?
Mhm.
Like the Star Wars #1 cover set, and they try to get one from every country.
Yeah.
So they break down those sets, and again, mainly keys is what they're doing, but they break down how hard was it for each country to get a copy of it and condition and all that.
Oh wow, that's fucking valuable information for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going for keys, but even if you're not, it's good to kind of learn a little bit background into like what countries had what kind of conditions for collecting, and you got a little couple facts that you probably didn't know about.
Yeah.
Um, so it's fun for sure.
Let's go to our next topic. This was interesting. Our favorite new follow of the year. And specifically for me, is Instagram, right? Someone I followed this year that I think is a good follow. My number one pick, shout out to the homie James. He just started posting some of his Doom sketches and some of his card collection, just some slabs. I've been talking to
Oh
James
yeah,
for a while. He's
yeah,
got
cool dude.
some dope shit. Batman original art. Yeah, super. And his Doom sketch collection is amazing. He's
And the way it
almost
looks is very clean. The way he just
yeah,
gets it authenticated. So shout
yeah,
out to James. Good shit, James. I see you.
yeah. And he's only shown a little bit of his Doom sketch commissions that he's got at cons, but he's he got some really dope shit. So shout out to James at Just Some Slabs. My second pick, Donny Boy McCoy. Someone that I just learned about this year, super dope. And he posts a lot of like Batman stuff I really fuck with. Some of the vintage stuff, like he does a lot of vintage. And we've seen him, shout us out. That's kind of how I learned about him. I know he's collecting Iron Man, and you shout out to Raj. Him and Raj do their I think they do their episodes on Rogers' account on YouTube. Make sure y'all follow them. But yeah, super cool dude. Another follow, and this is someone I've been following for a while, but it technically is still a new follow because I've seen his account change, and it's shout out to Henry Pablo. Now he's going by Flip Through This, uh, showing some dope books, magazines, some Japanese stuff. Where did he recently go, Sergio? Was it Korea? Where he picked
Korea.
up some stuff?
Huh? Yeah, he was in Korea.
Yeah,
Wait, what? We'll definitely. I know that's one of your picks. So I'll definitely give him the most improved IG for sure.
yeah. And you guys could come up with like other, yeah, if you want to give different shout outs. But yeah, for me, like, yeah, I just love the direction he's doing. There's not a lot of people who are doing it. It's very like curated specifically. So
I got three as well. I'm gonna go with the first one being Tyler Turnbull art.
mhm.
He picks up paintings from like thrift stores and like
Oh yeah,
classical paintings, and he paints over them different themes: Ninja Turtles, Batman,
yeah,
Dragon Ball, Pokemon, you name it. And it's just fun and creative. To me, it looks dope just because of how you have to take your time and try to figure out something that blends in, that makes it seem like it's part of the painting.
yeah. Part of the
Those are,
original painting. Yeah.
yeah, those that's what makes it fun for me to watch. And the way he breaks them down in the shorts, it's pretty dope. So shout out to his channel again. That's Tyler Turnbull Art. My next one's gonna be Ninny Bricks .co,
Mhm.
and they do a lot of stuff with epoxy, a lot of like aquariums, a lot of like different underwater effects that just look dope. They have one of like the girl from Aliens getting chased by a xenomorph under the water.
Oh
It's
wow.
just super dope, man. Like the I mean, that's again to me that kind of stuff is art in itself as well. People that do
Yeah, yeah,
special effects and stuff like that.
yeah.
And then the next one is going to be my number one is David's Miniatures. Dude,
Hmm.
this guy does like you could pick a scene in your favorite movie and he'll recreate everything in the room, literally everything in small scale. So like
Wow.
he'll go out of his way to like let's say it was like a telephone, a payphone. He'll even match the graffiti and the stickers that were on that pole.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So those are my three ones, man. My three new follows again. Like I just like to follow different creative stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all art because it all takes like time to get good to be at these guys' levels for what they do, and that's dope to watch.
Yeah, those are dope.
I'm gonna just shoot one instead of three. Because you guys obviously mentioned like yo again like shout out Henry Paulo. I like the direction that he's going with his page. He used to do a lot
Yeah.
of cards. He's gone through a couple aliases. So I was kind of confused a little bit. You know what I mean? At a certain point, but
That's just
Yes.
jealousy, Henry. Don't even worry about it.
no, 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 no. Because remember he what was his name before? It was Card Shop, but it was something else before that.
Into the Spider Verse or into the multiverse.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I do like it. He obviously has a nostalgia to that kind of video game vibe, which I'm definitely digging right now. It's currently like kind of like the space that I'm in, but to give a shout out to an artist though, shout out to Ace Core 2KX.
Hmm.
He's kind of into the obviously the Capcom side of it. He's got a couple commission sketches on there that are pretty dope, and yeah, it's definitely cool to see artwork like you would in some like in the Marvel space with different IPs, and you have other people that have some strength and weaknesses, and
Yeah.
it's dope to see. It's from a different perspective because
Nice.
he's definitely into the Capcom stuff, but then he draws like a couple Marvel things, but you could definitely tell what his strong points are for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So
showed some of those to us. Yeah.
yeah, they're
Those are
fun.
dope for sure. Here's I don't know if I even have it on the original outline, but it's just one I wanted to do. And I just wanted to highlight my favorite collector of the year. Just period. Just my favorite collector.
I
Uh
love how you give zero time to think about this one, but go ahead.
nah, that's what that's what I'm saying. I'll let you know. I just made it yesterday. I think I thought about it. Uh and I have I just wanted to keep it a one because I just want to really be honest, but I do have an honorable mention. Even though I only wanted to keep it a one. It's Johnny, bro. Johnny's is my favorite collector. He's probably gonna be my favorite collector next year too. Like it's just gonna be hard
Shout out to
to
Johnny.
just top
Yep.
Johnny. Johnny's anytime talk to him, I always learn something. Uh, he's got so many collections and like just the best, just the best. So shout out to Johnny, favorite collector of the year. Honorable mention to Nathan, True Blue Collectibles. Been going hard on that domino.
Shout out tonight. Yeah.
Uh, that domino collection. He's got quite a few down. I don't know how many he's missing, but I love seeing him start up his IG for the domino collection. And yeah, bro. So shout out to him. Shout out to those two individuals. All right, now we're gonna go towards the end of our NSDC Awards, favorite things, best of 2024. And here's the big one: our favorite pickups of the year. Uh, Let me start it off by choosing three. And number one being, well, not number one, but just top three because I don't think I can rank these. Uh, my Lowrider magazine, All New Ghost Rider, still one of my favorite pickups of the year.
Nice.
Uh, and just dope having that along with the comic book, but the Lowrider magazine specifically because it has a lot of nostalgia for me. Picking up Lowrider magazines when I was a kid. So that was dope to see. Shout out to Free for letting me know about that. And finally decided to pull the trigger this year. Uh Another favorite pick of the year, my Sienkiewicz sketches. Uh just you know, Sick. Favorite
Yeah,
favorite cards of the year. I mean, Bill Sienkiewicz. What else can I say? I mean, one of my favorite artists of all time. And last but not least, my last Ronin 2 pages. Shout out to James, the homie James, who did a trade. I got one of those in a trade, and the other one purchased. Thanks to the homie James for hooking me up with the Scorza Brothers representative. So it was cool to get, first original art pages for Turtles, and the only ones I have. Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, the first issue, and it's cool to have mostly focused on the new Turtle team. If you're reading on that, and I'm just super happy with those 2 pages. So those are my favorite pickups of the year.
Favorite pickups of the year. I mean, this one happened early on, but the Chief Warrior Doom, the
Yeah,
sketches, the comic. I mean, that was like the early on, like that's how I started the year.
no.
Um,
Maria Wolf. Yep.
yeah, the Maria Wolf sketches, the MF Doom sketch, the Chief Warrior comic, and the sketch card. I mean, that was really fun for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Another, let me see. I mean, what I showed you guys last night, that was definitely probably the pickup of the year. To my surprise, but for the people that are listening, if you're still here, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Um, no, I would say the like some of like the more recent like Japanese Final Fantasy stuff, and there's a couple of things that I have in my back pocket, but the Final Fantasy stuff for sure is fun.
Yeah.
The Capcom stuff I've been looking at has been really fun too. I just been yeah, like obviously I'm still looking at Doom stuff, but again, just being like selective on what I get because I've chipped off a couple of things, but now it's just about being patient,
Yeah.
just chilling, and now you can like relax and like look at other stuff. So I've definitely been enjoying that right now. With like I said, the gaming aspect, like like nostalgic shit for me. The Marvel stuff, the Capcom stuff. I've been having fun with that. The Final Fantasy stuff for sure.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna try to do just two and two. Two comics is my Uncle Scrooge, no, from Navarro that I picked up early this year.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
Yeah, man, I was super happy to find that. So that's my number one for my comics. The second one was wow. I'm gonna give you all comics actually this time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a lot of comics. I'll say the other one on my mind at least. The other one was the Batman Annual Adventures #1 from Germany.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was sick.
So I'm happy to have that one on the PC as well. And then after that, I'm gonna go with the Dragon Ball book that I still don't have in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just mention two cards. The one card, man, that I was super happy to get this year was that Venom from the Spirit of Vengeance upside down buyback
Oh
out of
yeah.
20. That was
Nice.
probably the biggest card that I picked up this year, like in general. And I was, looking for it for 3 years. So I was very satisfied to get that one in the PC. That allowed me to let go of another Venom this year that I didn't need anymore, another buyback from that set. So again, just downsizing to which ones are really your favorites.
Yeah.
And then the last one would have to be the Itachi Uchiha Naruto card that I recently picked up.
No, that was dope.
Yeah, so those are my pickups of the year.
Nice. All right. Here we go. We like to keep it honest. Biggest L's of the year. I'm gonna start it off with just seeing what the original Last Ronin pages are costing after they announced the movie. So it's an L for me. Shout out
Oh,
to everyone who owns it and booming. Those pages going up in price. That means I'm not getting one. so, so that's an L. I
damn,
had a shot at one last year and I fucked up.
you passed.
Nah, I stupid comic link. I hit the bid, but I wasn't signed in, so it
Oh
was too
fuck.
late.
Yeah.
And it was under 400. Now they're doing over a grand. So you know, what I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But eventually I'll try to get one down the road. I might have to pay up for it, but that's fine. And another L of the year again. The way it's just the L that I've seen is Marvel Masterpiece 92 Platinum PMGs. It's just terrible. They just look terrible, bro. I don't know what happened. I think someone fucked up the files. There's white borders where there should be PMG foiling. I wish they would never have stuck PMGs into the platinum set. It's just a bad. They're not even metal insert. There's no metal logos. Nothing about them are precious metal gems. They just say PMG. And to me, shout out to Shane, but no, Shane, they're not PMGs. They're PMGs are abbreviation for precious metal gems. I don't know what those are. Those are something else, dog. Like they're ugly as fuck too.
Those are
With the
lucky 92s.
yeah, they're flipped FX. You know what I mean? They're just color rainbow, which some of them are gorgeous. And if anyone's a fan, it's not an offense to you, but I'm just calling it how it is. They were terrible. They were
Yeah.
terrible. They shouldn't have been in that set. And clearly, they're pumping out sets, and I anticipated a lot of these just having bad designs because they're just rushing them. You know what I mean? These were just, hey, we're drying up the license. Let's get as much product out as possible, and I get it, but those aren't real PMGs to me. Those are something else. They're a weird mashup, and the execution on most of them are awful. So that's a L. My third one, well, no, that's a different one. That's for the next topic. But yeah, those are my two. What about you?
My
Biggest
biggest two,
L.
yeah, was both comics this year. Um, One I got outbid.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Really was looking forward to getting this book, Mexican book. Um, that one hurt because I moved something big in order to get it, and it
Mm.
wasn't enough.
Damn.
So it is what it is. I'm still gonna hopefully get a shot at one of these in the future.
Yeah.
And then another book again. This one, I wasn't even able to move anything in this case in advance, and I was pretty close to what I thought I was going to go for. But again, it's I've noticed these are going up a little bit in price because um, I've been off a little bit by like about 100 or 150 on what they finally do, like the final bid versus what I thought they would max out at.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing for the market, bad thing for, like you said, like if you're trying to get that TMNT, it's now
Yeah.
1,000 when you used to be able to get it for 4. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Sergio.
So my two big L's of the year. Let's just call it a particular IP that's sold on Heritage, and I don't really source too deep into Heritage. I don't really shop in Heritage like too much. I know there's some cool stuff on there, but that particular auction I didn't think was gonna sell on Heritage just because of what it is, and it did. And I
Oof.
saw the final price, and it hurts. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
like yeah, it hurts so good, And yeah, that one for sure hurt a little bit. And what else this year? Did I take any other? No, I don't think so, man. Not that I can recall. Not one that happened this year for sure.
Yeah.
But that one for sure. Like it, like when I saw it, I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like I can't, I didn't even know it was there. It's such. It's not even like an obscure thing. It's just not like it's something that shouldn't be on Heritage auctions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just happened to be on Heritage auctions. So
No, those are worse. When you find something and then you go back to the history and like, wait, this was for sale for this much a couple months
you're like,
ago, and I didn't know about it. Damn it.
Yeah, for real.
Those are the
Especially
ones.
when even if they were at least in the same condition, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're always in the better condition, and they got them
Yeah.
for cheaper.
It's cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
hurts for real.
That combo sucks. And it happens
You know,
every day.
let's just say that there were worthy PSA 9s. You're just like,
Oh
you
man.
know?
Yeah.
All right, now I mean this is a big one for NSDC anti shout out of the year.
Of the
Uh,
year. Damn.
of the year. I have two.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Just shout out to Vic. Number one, DC hate. Yeah, that was
Oh,
funny
this
as fuck.
is
That was funny to see. I enjoyed it. You know, and I don't mean people who don't care for DC and were like, oh, okay, cool, I'll check it out. I mean people who just came out like, nah, fuck DC. I'm never gonna, I'm like, all right, bro, that's crazy. You're very passionate. Okay, we'll see next year what happens. Um, and volume shooters. There's a
okay.
lot of people who I have respect with, like the curations, and then I started seeing a lot more things they picked up. I'm like, oh, your eye is good. It's not where I thought it was. There's a lot of volume shooters in the hobby.
Oh,
They when you amass a lot of things, you're gonna have a lot of cool shit. But just reevaluating where I rank people in their eye. That's it.
oh wow.
Shout out, shout out to all of them.
Would you
yeah.
care to go in a deeper detail into that or no?
That's just so many. There's so many
Yeah.
volume shooters in the hobby. Like, wow. Okay. Well, you just
There you go.
surprised me. That's all.
Well, remember the episode when I told you we're picky hoarders? Some of us are not picky hoarders; we're just hoarders. You know,
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
appropriate.
I
I
think
believe so.
that's what it is. Me too, man. Like, there's people. Yeah, I'm trying to say this in the non-edited way I can. Yeah, there's just a lot of people that they collect nostalgia, but it's not just necessarily something I would want to collect.
Right.
And or yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's probably the nicest way. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't want to go too much into that.
No, no, that's good.
What about
Sergio.
you, Sergio?
Uh, man, I don't know. I mean, based on the the poll standing, uh, the anti-shot of the year probably goes to Yoki. You know what I mean? If already that's like
Mm.
the hobby and shit like that, But so another conversation. It's the end of the year. Let's stay on a positive note. Let's end it on a positive note.
Is that your fleece of the year?
I mean, he's the one getting fleeced for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Him getting fleece for the
Yeah,
top score. Mm.
yeah, and then promoting it is just like it's like, hey, look, guys, I got robbed. Let me post that shit on social media. Like, come on, what the fuck?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to everybody involved.
Careful with the company you keep. You know what I mean? Some of this company might tell you it's a $10,000 item when it's really worth 1,000. So
There you go.
gotta be careful out there.
There you go. Everybody be careful. Next up, favorite NSDC moment of the year. I'm gonna go three real quickly.
Damn.
Three of them, three moments. Sergio being mad at the facsimile autos is one of my favorite moments of the year.
Oh.
Just I think a lot of us, a lot of the listeners love that episode too. So shout out to Sergio and shout out to Tops Chrome. I still like those autos. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Matt DiTilio. The episode, it was really cool to really get to know Matt DiTilio and just hear his origin. You know what I mean? And that was just a fun episode. We got to talk about art. Just dope. And my number one favorite is talking Transformers with Johnny. I just love that. And he got me to put a couple blue dots on eBay and keep track of Transformers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it
I
can't
got
hurt to learn
influenced.
something new. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I have to agree with Doom. The Matt DiTulio episode was fun. You know what I mean? Um, shout out to all the art dealers out there. The new and the old 2024.
For sure.
But it was dope to have Matt on. Pick his brain a little bit. Ask questions that you probably I don't. I mean, I don't know if other people ask him these kind of questions, but I wanted to know like for sure the origin story, and it was nice to know that he's a big Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, it makes sense. I try to let you guys know, but you guys don't want to not follow me on that one. So you know. Yeah, and all around he's just like a pretty chill dude, man. So shout out to him. That was a fun episode. If you guys don't remember, that's the one Elusive fell asleep for. He didn't have internet. Or something was going on.
Yeah, something happened. I don't really.
Um,
Yeah, I can't even remember.
my favorite for sure moment is when Elusive fell asleep on the podcast. That was for sure. He took a little snoozy poo.
Yeah, you took one of my moments. Well, look, it wasn't that one
little
specific, but
snoozy,
it wasn't
little
that.
snoozy poo, man.
It
That
was
shit
an
was funny
episode.
as fuck.
One of them was gonna be shot. Well, shout out for one of mine is when we had Off White Tim.
Oh yeah.
We had
Yo,
fun
so
that one of those episodes. It was a lot of fun, and that's when that happened as well. And then, yeah, another episode that I really enjoyed was the one we did with retrospects when we had him on.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting conversation. And then one of my favorite moments was when I shouted out Johnny's rooster. Because his
Yeah.
rooster was just in the background. I was like, man, let me just mention it. And I was like, yo, shout out
Yes.
to your rooster, dog. That was
Yeah.
This boy
someone
was
brought it up to
singing.
me. Yeah, probably my
Yeah.
favorite moments for sure.
No, that was sick. And last topic we have here to close out 2024 is what are your biggest predictions of the hobby for 2025? I'll start it off with two things, which some of these are probably obvious. I think 2025 is going to be the year of the breaker. Marvel Tops, they're going to be using a lot of Fanatics live breaking. You're not going to find those products. A lot of the quote unquote hits are going to be through breakers, just how they have their system set up. And I think I think a different audience, the one currently on Marvel Topps Chrome, which is a sports audience or maybe like a TCG audience, is gonna be interested in the Topps Marvel stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of people breaking, and yeah, I wonder how that goes. Right? People can complain about David Adams and Steel City and all these people where you buy your boxes from, but now like we're gonna see how it is with Tops and Fanatics. So I think it's gonna be the year of the breaker. Also, the DC takeover, and again referencing anti Shadow of the Year with the DC hate. There's gonna be a lot of DC love, and maybe from the same people. So this is gonna be interesting to see that. And we got the Superman movie coming up. It just feels like a big DC year. Batman metal, Batman PMGs, Superman, Filter Superman.
I mean, a Kiss Batman drop.
Yeah. I mean, there might be another collab with DC and Upper Deck. I don't know. We might see
Yeah,
some. Will there be a Magic the Gathering DC collab? Interesting. I don't know. Would a Batman Magic the Gathering card shake the hobby? I think so. So we'll see. I think DC is set up to boom next year. What about
yeah,
y'all? Any predictions for next year that y'all can think of?
yeah. For me, I'm gonna predict that it's for years for sure. It's gonna be a big year for breakers as well. I agree
Mm-hmm.
with that. And then I think it's gonna be all about the new product. And now I see it in this way. It's just as long as more and new product gets dumped, it's gonna bring in more new people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it necessarily the type of people that we are as collectors? No, but that's fine as long as it's bringing more awareness in general to the hobby and to non-sports. So I think I see the same thing for next year. I think the hobby steady grows. especially with this new product and Fanatics taking over. I also predict that there's going to be another company that might start gaining an edge on eBay next year.
Nice.
Like I think that there's someone should start another one where they're going to compete against eBay, but strictly for non-sports. In other words, so
Yeah.
because you're not going to beat them in other categories, right? But so
Right.
I'm just referring to the hobby. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be dope to see.
Sergio?
Predictions for the next year in the hobby. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's that's a hard one to take a guess at. I mean, what's possibly going to happen this upcoming year? Who knows, man? Like I'm so lost in my own rabbit hole, bro. Like I don't know. I don't know what could possibly be happening. I mean, shit.
He's more facsimile autos, dog. What you
I
mean?
mean, listen. If that's what it's about, man, I'm gonna stay in my little rabbit hole of tricks. You know what I mean?
Well, wait. What about comic book ratios being sealed now? You gotta buy them packs. You like that?
That's
Is
just
that gonna be
stupid.
bigger in 2025?
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
thing I forgot about. Oh,
adding like the gambling aspect to the comic realm. I mean, that's
yeah.
just stupid. Like,
Is
not yeah, not now. It's like, hey, to your point, it's all about the breaker, like the whatnot shit, the comic Tom shit.
yeah.
Mystery box, mystery bundle. Shout out to Vic, even though he talks shit, he buys the mystery bundles and shit.
I appreciate everybody that supported us this year. Shout out to Nate. Shout out to Uncle Jake. Shout out to West Coast Avenger. Shout out to Manu. Shout out to all our guests that we had on last
Shout out to
year.
all the homies for sure.
And yeah, the guests and the homies. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having some guests. Sergio has something up his sleeve that we're not gonna mention now, but he's working on some guests for next year.
Yeah, for sure.
We had to get the closer and to finish the deal. We're all good though. For sure, guys. Listen, we wish you all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is you celebrate.
Yep.
Peace, love, and prosperity out there in the world. We may talk some shit, but at the end of the day, bro, we are one. So big shout out to everybody out there.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the homies. And yeah, bro. Hopefully, we can keep it going in 2025. Yeah, man. Enjoy your time with your families. And yeah, bro. It's just remember, it's none of this stuff is that important. You know what I mean? Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, literally.
All right, man. Later.
Later, guys.